Good evening, everybody. We have an exciting match and some exciting news for this match to be said on stream here. We don't have a typical cast set coming up, so you get to listen to two very NA production casters. Joining me tonight is a longtime friend. Actually, they're both pretty much the same exact amount of time that they've been in our, at least been with my friendship and in a couple organizations with myself. We've got Young Pickles and we have Clark with us. You guys want to say hello?
Yo, yo. I am
So,
ready to see some hot Bastion action. The Shrek on DVD should not disappoint me.
Soldier just called me his friend. Oh.
Oh, yeah, we're friends. Um, so anyways, they're gonna be very terrible at this, and it's gonna be very bad. But it's gonna be at least hours on our production, and you guys can laugh at us all you want, and well, you get to probably see some decent gameplay between these teams, because I'll let the casters do their cast thing, but it should be a good matchup.
Nope. I'm just looking at player profiles here real quick, just to kind of get an idea of maybe what kind of gameplay we're gonna get. It looks like Cream Team's definitely gonna play like Bunker most of the night. They have a one-trick Bastion, a one-trick Orisa, somebody with a ton of hours on Mercy, somebody maining Hog this season in competitive. So I really feel like we're gonna just see like a Cream Bunker, for lack of better words.
Bunker full of cream.
We got some OGs. Wrathful on Helios. He's been around for time. Finesse, Zombre.
Do we have any over-unders on if Wrathful plays anything but Diva?
I mean,
Raffle's been diva all season, so
All
they have
season?
two people.
How about
yeah, all
like the
season.
entire time you played Overwatch?
Oh, I've not checked his career profile, but we have a couple people with a lot of time in diva, a couple people with mostly time on Widow. So I don't know. Maybe they're gonna run a lot of sniping. I have no idea what Helios Chroma is gonna play, to be honest. Just looking at the profile. So.
well, both Helios teams picked up their first win in a while last week. Same week. Pretty big for them.
And Cream's 7-1 in maps this season and 2-0. So they've established themselves as probably one of the more powerful teams in the division. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't see is a Winston. Maybe Finesse. Finesse has a lot of hours on Winston. I mean, it just looks like Helios Chroma has a lot of dive players, but they aren't playing them this season, so I have no idea what they're going to play.
Yeah, so Helios Chroma and Helios Imperium combine. So I think they have a interesting combination.
Kind of a mix of the two. Okay.
Yeah. I think
Gotcha.
they're still setting up. It's been a week or something since that combination occurred. All right, one of my favorite maps here.
Yeah, I love Li Zhang. So let's see what they go with. I feel like Control Point always favors more brawl comps on Command Center versus like a bunker comp, but we'll see what each team goes with.
Usually Snodes or Goats or Dodes. Or you could be like the Young Bombers and play triple DPS and fail mythically. One of those two.
I really love Hammond on Li Zhang as in general. I think Hammond's a really strong hero. He gets a lot of value on the attack points here, especially if teams don't focus him properly.
All right.
So it looks like we're go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it looks like we're going with a kind of a hybrid bunker comp with the Genji flanking and the Mora on Cream Team, and then not totally sure what I would call the comp on Helios side, but they probably have a mindset going into this, and so it'll be interesting to see. What do you think about the Helios team?
They're going Goats for sure. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I would favor Goats in this.
Shrek 2 on DVD. He's a regular pug goer in the old server. Now he joined us in Revolution. That's good to see.
Looks like Helios is taking the left side, and they're meeting him up there. And it looks like Ryan's going in.
He's very alone.
Just some basic pushing back of the team. They're taking the space they need to effectively control the point, and they've done a really good job of this so far. That was a good anti from Anna, or healing nade for her team. Not a lot of value on the anti though.
Whoa, that's the
Warlord
fastest. What?
Yeah, that was a very quick Mora ult, but Blue's going to capture this right off the bat. They might not hold it for very long because looks like the kiting has effectively made Helios Chroma use their cooldowns, and so they're a little bit drained. Looks like the bunker
like
cop's got to take this.
It was a big pick on the Moira, but they had lost people, and because of that, they were not going to be able to hold that point. But they still got the point, which is pretty big.
Yeah,
they have the better comp.
I agree with that, but they also used a lot of cooldowns to win that fight, and then it kind of sort of tilted in their favor after the cooldowns expired for Cream Team. I think the biggest issue is going to be busting the bunker now, getting in.
Yeah, if they can focus the shield here, they are going to have grab very quickly, which is going to be a big retake ability for them. And they also have shatter. Oh, but here comes a tire. Oh,
that's a good shatter. That's a huge shatter. Let's see if they can get anything out of it. They haven't got any picks yet. We got nanoed. Junkrat got nanoed. Looks like Genji's going with the blade. I don't think Helios is going to win this fight either. Unfortunately, I didn't get any picks from shatter. That was a huge blade by Genji.
There was a really good bubble by Zoro in that too. The team just kind of split up, unfortunately, instead of staying together.
They can pick the Zarya. That's a couple extra percentage points on the board before they can push again because they have to wait for that Zarya now.
So they're gonna have grab bomb here, which I mean they could try to utilize. There's no defensive ult for them other than the Moira, but that's not really a true defensive ult.
Ryan's taking a lot of damage early on his shield and fights. I wonder if that's playing an issue in them being able to push some.
They need to focus shield there.
Yeah, there it goes again. That's a good grab. Let's see if they can get anything out of that. Oh, the bomb hit the wall. Ooh. But I don't know if he's gonna have enough to win this fight though.
They have to kill this Genji in the back line.
Yeah. Looks like they are gonna take it.
Brig might be overextending here. This is not very good for. Oh no! It's
all right, so they basically they got most of the team out. Genji's still trying to build some ult charge, but that was a good take on what I thought might have been a lost fight. But the bomb somehow worked out for him pretty well.
Maybe he planned.
So that might be the ultimate debate. So it looks like we're just building some ult charge. So this is the one thing about bunker comps. It's gonna be so hard to get back in here. I feel like because the Risa has to press W and not get her shield tire.
Here comes the tire. Wrathful's on it though. That's good. That's really good. If he can...
Oh yeah, he got D.Va on mech, but I mean that's all he got.
That's a big trade for them with goats. So like I don't hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're just melting that Orisa shield, so it's really hard for them to really make any sort of push. They might be able to do things with the Orisa ult though. Genji's coming in. He got the pick on the Lucio, and now he got Zenyatta. So they have no healers, so this is pretty much going to be a lost fight for Helios now. That was a good whole goal. Use 3 ults to win that fight though. They still have Genji and Anna, so they have Nano Blade for the next fight. So it's going to be really hard for them to regroup and push in at the last 10%.
It's going to be important for them to not lose anyone here. They're going to have to move pretty quick. Finesse is just a little... Oh, this is big. Finesse has to move with the Zen. Go, go, go.
As long as Genji and Anna stay alive, I don't feel like they can win this fight.
They might have bombs.
Yeah, there's the Nano Blade. Genji gets 2, Genji gets 3, and then more picks off the Zenyatta for 4. D.Va bombs, but it's a lost cause. And the hog meme hook for the kill. Now this is just clean up on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, that was unfortunate that Finesse got ahead of, or well, behind their Zenyatta there. They had enough time to touch that could have. They just split too much there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have to give Cream Team a lot of credit. They were really patient with the engagement. They took their time to get the space inches at a time, as opposed to, using the Orisa cooldown and then losing it, and then trying to take too much ground with Orisa being on cooldown on the shield. So they were very patient with that, and only took what they could get out of that Goats comp, and slowly worked their way up, and then they essentially used some very well timed ults to win the fight. So I thought that was well played by Cream Team there.
Turtle was pretty dominant there. He was kind of uncontested in the back line. It's, I think, a little too aggressive from maybe our Brig.
Right. So we see a Hammond here now, so we're probably going to see some good plays. I really love Hammond on this point, especially right up early. And then they have the Sombra, so a little bit of tactical play here. Hammond couldn't get anybody on that push though.
Big.
Early pick for Helios with Zoro killing both Rova and Turtle, so that's pretty good.
That's massive.
Now they're going to win this fight because they can't even contest at all. So this is a free point for Helios due to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh had some huge plays there. Hammond's in the back. Hammond just needs to die to reset. So
This is big for Sombra. She gets that farm, gets her EMP up to 50% already. That's pretty massive.
yeah.
Farrah's gonna have a lot.
So here comes Orisa back. Orisa, again, got to be patient with the Orisa shield. Can't run past it because she's going to get melted with this comp. So let's see if Cream uses the same amount of patience they did last time to take the space they need. Soldier gets Helios's Pharaoh, but it gets res, so that's a reset.
They're playing with fire here, being on this bridge for so long. I would love to see Zoro get aggressive. Oh, there's a boop. Nope. Anna
Didn't get anybody
survives.
with it.
Mora gets
Winston
one.
dies by Mora, so that looks like they might be able to make a push here and win the fight. Oh, that's a huge Sombra ult there, though. It still looks like Cream Team's going to win this fight despite being EMP'd.
That's one of those unfortunate events on Sombra. You're like, oh, I got a huge EMP, but 2 of my teammates are dead, and
Yeah.
kind of bummed. They're gonna contest though. They'll get it to close to 50% here, and he gets out too. That's huge by Shy. They can maybe even stagger the D.Va here.
Now they've gone Zarya to maybe help with the aggro because we currently don't have a hit scan on except for the really, which is Anna and Devo. They aren't great counters to Pharah unless you're putting a lot of resource into focusing her, and then you can't get your monkey in because you're too busy with the Pharah to DM the monkey. So they might have to see us swap the hit scan to help counter this Pharah if their own Pharah can't keep her distracted. Because right now she's just raining on them. There's nothing that they're really able to do about it.
And we see here that Cream is playing double main heals with the Moira and the Anna. It's not exactly any defensive ults, so if Helios Chroma can get their ults together, this is a pretty easy...
Pharah did get picked by Soldier, so that is a big pick because, you know, a lot of this fight feels like it's going to be built around the Pharah ult. So if Soldier gets those picks early, they're not going to be able to make a push.
Fortunately, Shy gets picked here off by the D.Va. We're gonna have 6 ults going into this engage.
Yeah, this is actually going to be fireworks if both teams group up.
It's gonna be 12 ults.
Yeah, this is going to be fireworks here. There's going to be a lot of Qs being pressed. I feel like that they're really struggling again with this dive because they have no answer for the Pharah though right now.
Shy is gonna EMP here.
Yep, that was actually decently played. The D.Va bomb might get some people here. It gets just the Pharah. Looks like Shy got taken out again. Winston gets their Anna, and we look like it's a pretty even match so far. This could turn it maybe. No picks on that, but Zoro is popping off here and getting some picks, so they're going to win this battle of attrition. They still kept the Pharah ult. I don't really love her using it here if she does. Yeah, I didn't love that ult. I don't think that was a good idea, but looks like Helios is going to retake it, and somehow the Pharah gets out. Maybe.
The healers are pocketing each other, but no, unfortunately, they're gonna.
Yeah, Shy is fighting with Turtle right now, and I don't love that fight because it's just a stagger.
Wrathful goes in there. If he gets DMA'd here, this is probably close to game.
I would agree with that. So it looks like they're just trying to keep on to this point as much as possible here.
Big purple on their Winston there, and this res. Oh, if he gets it off, it's big. Oh, but nothing gets killed by the Pharaoh.
Unfortunately not. And they got Tracer in there to help keep it on. A quick comeback. And that's going to be round 1. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea what happened on point there while I was watching the Pharah and the Sombra fight. What happened there? Were you watching that fight?
Turtle got a bunch of kills when they were actually down probably 3 to 6. He ulted on point and basically turned the point over.
Okay.
Pretty sad for Helios there on the end.
Yeah, because it really looked to me like Cream Team was going to be staggering hard, and next thing you know, they'd won the point back. So.
Yeah, but we have Vanguard giving some big brain here, talking about how Cream was chilling on the bridge for a long time there, and unfortunately our Helios didn't take advantage of that. They could have dived and really put pressure on it. They kind of let them sit there, and the boop power plus Winston Diva dive could have really affected that match.
Yeah, you mentioned that right away after the res of Zoro and how you really wanted to see a boop there by Zoro as one of the things they could have done to engage on the bridge. But I kind of have to agree with that. The patience of Cream Team was really kind of what won them those fights. They didn't overcommit more resources than they needed to. Again, they kind of pushed in inches and not overly aggressive, and it seemed like they just kind of kited Helios into whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely moments, especially on map 2, where Helios just didn't really take advantage of their advantages. Like, first of all, they had a comp advantage, and I think that maybe their off tank and main tank were maybe not necessarily in sync. And yeah, like
I thought the Diva Winston play was because the fact that they weren't committing a hit scan the Pharah, like Diva couldn't help Monkey initiate because she either had the DM the rockets from Pharah and focus on Pharah, or she helps Monkey get in and then their whole backline's exposed to Pharah bombs. So I probably would have liked to have seen a swap there.
Yeah, there's a key factor to the win for them is going to be basically avoiding Turtle's dominance and taking like advantage of their compositions against Cream and kind of killing the rest of the team, kind of not worrying so much about that player because he's dominating right now in the DPS, and it's unfortunate to see.
Now, what do you think about Rialto? Obviously, we could see some classic bunker style comp with riding the cart, but what do you feel like these teams are going to do in this situation?
I mean, from my experience, it's tough when you're playing against. So it seems like Helios is a pretty goats-oriented team, and if they're playing against bunker / DPS comps, it's going to be tough because there's so many good angles and a lot of open space as well as boop opportunities. So it's going to come down to them kind of really putting their focus with their front line on good objectives rather than I don't know. I wasn't aware enough to really analyze. Vanguard has some good points. How they're basically giving too much room to their Orisa, basically.
I agree with that because I was just getting ready to say they really need to be more aggressive in closing the gaps on Orisa because Orisa wants as much space between her and Ryan as possible, and Ryan obviously wants to close that gap. So I think that Cream is doing the much better job at kiting the Ryan, and then the Ryan's not getting either Ryan can't get the resources he needs, or they just can't provide him enough to overturn the kiting that's happening. I mean, but I would agree wholeheartedly that the Orisa play by David or Davy B is certainly doing a lot of things for Cream right now. They're able to exert their will based on the main tank play right now.
I feel like a thief, but Vanguard's got really good points here. Talking about they had 4 ults to 5, but they didn't group up and properly force Cream to come into them when they have the advantage and then focus targets together. There was a bit of a lack of focus on targets, and I mean that's every team's problem, right?
You could kind of see the deer in headlights look on the second point whenever they all stopped at the first entrance of before the bridge. They just kind of stopped there. They dropped the Winston bottle. They used Diva. That's when you kind of saw that, for lack of better words, when Mike Tyson always says, you have a plan until you get punched in the face. Well, they got hit in the face. And as a result of that, they sort of couldn't get their bearings straight again. They really were not able to make a strong decision on how to engage the team and how to counter. And so you could kind of see that in the tentativeness of their play whenever they got to that point, and they would just stop there and use cooldowns and try to figure out the best way to engage. And honestly, once you get to that point, it's a little too late because you've got already Pharah raining down on you and you've used cooldowns and you still don't really know the best way to get into that fight.
Yeah, you don't want to let that bunker get set up, or the Orisa shield.
Yeah, I mean they had spam coming from the Orisa on the bridge and they had spam coming from the Pharah in the sky. It was one of those things where you can't just stop like in the middle of where they were stopping to kind of figure out what they were doing.
And you know, that's that old I've been playing a lot of Sombra. It's tough to not want to EMP them when there's like 6 of them there, but sometimes you just screw yourself by doing that.
So we're
Well,
waiting here for finish. Yeah, go ahead, soldier.
yeah, well, I'm just gonna plug a couple things here while we wait for people to do what they're doing. Um, we have a position forms out there for you guys if you want to take a look at it, and if you want to try and be part of the community and help out. We appreciate everybody's anything anybody wants to contribute. We're 100% community driven. None of us get paid to do any of this. This is all passion for us, and we just want to make this a great place for everybody to exist. And to make that happen, we need people that want to be passionate with us. So we have in the announcements channel. I'll re-announce it again, but there's a previous announcement. It shows the link to our positions form. Go ahead and fill out what if anything you want to join us. We have like social media stuff. We have some casting positions, and I think the Overwatch tournament planning committee has been mostly finalized, so that may or may not be available anymore. There's a few things in there, and if there's something that's not in there, you can still bring it up to us. Just review mail us or DM somebody, and we're open to a lot of things. So check that out, and we're gonna be getting into the game here shortly. Looks like it's just starting.
Well, key matchups here. We'll look out for Turtle again, and
I think Turtle and Arisa, David. I think that's, the people who are gonna really decide the flow of the match. If they can't do anything about the Arisa, and they don't find a good way to counter Turtle, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be difficult for him.
Shrek 2's no slump either. He showed some good skill on the soldier there on map 2. And
Yeah, he was countering them hard.
What's the chances of us not seeing Pirate Ship on the side of Cream Team?
I'll be very sad if we don't get a Bastion from Shrek. I want it so bad.
oh yeah, because
And there it is. He's on Bastion. There we go. All right, awesome. I'm very excited for this.
Everyone signed their life insurance policy.
So it looks like we're going to be going with just a standard comp on the Helios Chroma side. I don't really know if you'd call that anything in particular, but they're going hardcore bunker on the Cream Team side. I'm gonna guess that Shy's probably gonna be looking to disrupt Bastion as much as they can, and then Zoro comes in with the finish on the Bastion.
5, 4, 3.
oh boy, this update for Overwatch may have caused.
We're
some
lagging. We're
Yeah,
lagging
I'm
pretty hard
lagging
here.
too.
I'm
I thought it
getting
was
some
just
really
me.
hard dips.
I would pause it possibly actually.
Yeah, if we can do that, that'd probably be better.
Yeah, I'm dropping frames. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm getting hard stutters.
I thought it was like my GPU taking a dump or something. Like, no, what are you doing?
I wonder if
Well,
it is
this
the
is-
type.
I mean, last map
Stop
was
typing and it won't lag.
pretty smooth. So
Yeah,
and-
people weren't talking though in chat really. I noticed.
so maybe tell everybody to be quiet? Question mark.
I think Pickles is handling it now.
I told them let's just stop talking. It looks my frames are stable now without people chatting. So
That is hilarious. The least intensive thing is what's causing problems, like switching characters and
Yeah,
talking.
somebody types. I dropped 50 frames.
it's definitely connected to that. That's an oddity.
You know what? I bet you it's not the netcode. I think somebody mentioned the netcode got updated. I bet you $1 million they left some kind of debugging feature in there, and that is causing the lag issues. So we'll probably see a hotfix here. I'm gonna say within at least the next day. Mark my
Probably.
words.
Your words have been marked, sir. All right, we are resuming this match. It's obviously defending from the hotel. High ground's always the better advantage whenever you get it. Reinhardt got melted there, as is kind of expected with that sort of comp. It's a lot of spam to put into a Reinhardt shield if you're not giving him any support. So right now we're just going to watch the Sombra's behind on them. I think she's just waiting for the call to come in and hack Bastion so they can push it. She is there. Looks like she exposed herself though. Genji was on her, so she had to get out. So they're going to have to reset on that. And really, whenever you have a Sombra like this, I mean, it's essentially 5v6 until the Sombra does something. So they've got an uphill battle until that Sombra can get a hack off. And she's trying again. She's going up there to try to pull another hack off. They're really tightly around him though, which is great. It's going to make it a lot harder. She's trying to harass him to get some distraction. It is getting the cart pushed for him some, but it looks like it did work enough to get the cart turned around the corner, and it's going to be a little bit harder to defend as effectively because they're in the middle of space where the Pharah can start to do work. And now they're closing the gap. Looks like Brian's going after who is that in there? Well, never mind. The Hanzo came in to push them off and take control of that fight. So
they have moved the payload to a spot where they want, and this is pretty good for their next push. And we do see ults coming online. EMP should be here very soon. Shy's still back here. I think he's going to be able to get the Baptiste, which will be really big to combo with Zoro's Pharah ult. If he can actually... Oh yeah, so he's hacked. And he's exposed himself a little early, but Wrathful gets their carry, their turtle. This is pretty big for them. I think if they can just wait and get this EMP, then this is a one fight. But let's see what happens.
Winston's going in for construction. Diva's DMing it. They're going hard on the Bastion.
They don't even need ults.
Okay, yeah. So there's the EMP though. Like you said, I don't know if that was totally necessary, but it guarantees them first point if anything. Mercy reses Zoro, so they'll have a full team coming up to this point.
So we see Turtle actually going onto his main. I checked out his account in the break there, and he's a hog main right now. Oh, but we.
And so they have to focus down those immortality fields because that's just delaying time for them to cap the point, and the more time they spend not killing is gonna let them come back, and that's kind of what's happened. The Hog was able to delay that so long that they're able to actually contest this point now, and they've turned the corner because the Mercy got picked by Hanzo, and now they're gonna end up winning this fight. And what happened was just the delay from Hog in the immortality field just kept that fight alive long enough for them to come back and take it. That was a brilliant play by Cream Team.
Unfortunately, you know, like I was saying, that ult was not necessarily needed, and they could have used it at a little more opportune time to actually get this payload pass. It's going to come down to really Zoro's ult here, I think, and whether or not they can focus.
Nano's also coming up, so they might dump a lot of resources into maybe nano barraging here. Winston gets picked early though, so that's going to delay them. Mercy gets picked too, trying the res. I think they're reeling a little bit. Just, you know, the bunker comp is so hard to deal with sometimes, and you know, once you kind of get hit by it, sometimes it gets really hard to get up off the mat.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, I mean, they have one fight left here. They have about 4 ults coming online.
I don't like the small space there for Winston because Hog's right there, but Hog's backed off. So it looks like they're going to try to go around maybe. Orisa's ulting for the damage boost. And then Bastion ults too, and they're going to zone this out. The Nano goes on Winston. I don't really know what they're going to get out of that. Maybe a distraction, but Zoro dies with his ult. And they are making some space here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win the fight. Yeah, it's definitely going to go to the Cream Team.
Yeah. I mean, I think our losing team here on that was just not really playing corners properly, not regrouping. It's unfortunate. That Bastion can do wonders.
0-0. Switching sides.
Yeah, I honestly thought that they had that turn, and that was just really good play by the Baptiste and the Roadhog for Cream Team to string that fight out long enough. And that's where calls come so important. That immortality field was up long enough to make a difference in that fight, and you know, it did go down quickly, but like, you just have to be on those immortality fields. You have to stop what you're doing and instantly target those, because like I said, that's all seconds on the clock, and you don't think about adding it up, but like even 2 or 3 seconds is the difference between essentially capping that first point and not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw our Zoro try to kind of take the game into his hands there with the last push. He extended into their zone a little bit too freely without letting his tanks engage first. So he got picked, Mercy got picked. It's basically over from there because it was really relying on his ult to be utilized there. I would think.
Yeah, to me, I felt like the play was trying to figure out how to get the nano barrage in there, and then you know I would have liked to seen maybe going all the way around the back end to or split flank something like that. Somebody to pull aggro on the front line, and then you know maybe getting Zoro behind to do the nano barrage. But um,
Attackers
And
You know.
looking at this comp too, this is gonna be tough for Helios because they don't have true shield break, and we're seeing Turtle on ball here, so we're running double main tank with Bastion, Hanzo. It's a
yeah,
very
they're not going to win the shield break here, and that's what they have to do to win this fight. They're already behind. Larissa's got 8 seconds before her shield even comes back up, and she's already lost the fight.
This is
So-
big though. Shy and Genteran's down, and but Finesse is now dropped.
The
Sombra,
Widow is applying some pressure, but I don't know how she's applying on the ground with the shield in front of her. She's going to have to get on high ground to be more effective here. You know, they still have possession of the cart, which is what's the most important thing. Genji's trying to make space, and looks like, you know, that's it for Helios. Helios just lost that fight. Everybody died there.
they had the picks there, but unfortunately they can't get to the Bastion through the shield because the shield's just gonna stay up, and you know,
Yeah, they didn't have the shield break. You know, a Widow wasn't gonna win you that fight on the ground into an Orisa shield, unfortunately. They are contesting here for one last push. The Diva's up there staggering. Looks like they're going to kind of chain it a little bit, but they're still not going to beat the Bastion. They just don't have the resources to counter it. Yeah, and everything's going as we expected to here.
bit of an unfortunate compositional pick, I think here. They just
Yeah, you have to know the Bastion's coming. I agree.
yeah. I mean, it was well played by Cream, and Trek was pretty dominant on the Bastion as kind of expected. So
Mm-hmm. So just just watching that, you know, it feels like the again the Orisa, Bastion or Orisa and Zoro are doing a lot here for not Zoro but Turtle. They're doing a lot here for Cream Team. They're
You know,
making all the smart plays.
hopefully we can see a little bit of adjustment from Zoro to really play that projectile role to break shield in coordination with his tanks to really open up the possibility for picks. When the shield is just being basically freely put down, there's not a whole lot of hope, even if you get the hack off. But it's been tough for them. They
I
need
almost
they need to take a breather.
Yeah, I almost feel like I'd like to see Helios fight fire with fire here. I didn't really see a lot of Orisa playtime on anybody, but it seems like what they're gonna have to do to fight Cream is just they're gonna have to go Orisa. They're gonna have to fight the shield break fights, and they're gonna have to assert their dominance that way. I feel like they know how to play this bunker comp so well that like I'm not confident Goats is gonna work. I'm not confident Dive's gonna work. The Risa's playing like beautifully, and it seems like just like the only way around this is gonna have to be just a straight up shield break fight and just winning that fight up front on the front line against Orisa. Either that or their dive has to get a lot more coordinated because you don't see that sort of targeting that you'd want to see out of a dive comp to do things like get the Orisa to peel and things like that.
I honestly think a good Sombra Goats here for Helios Chroma would be pretty beneficial against a lot of the compositions they're running, or even just true Goats. But they need to be aware of Turtle. So their Brigitte needs to play pretty defensively. They need to play as a unit and really use corner as well, rather than the style they've been playing, which has kind of been spread and a little bit too open. So yeah, and even running just like traditional goats might be beneficial here. Just discording their Bastion or Orisa would be pretty beneficial.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these fights, the front line is what matters here, and we're not getting the pushes needed to break that front line.
So we're gonna see Volskaya here, and this is a pretty good map for goats and bunker. So probably gonna see defensive bunker out of Cream, and then maybe Dotes from, or maybe a somber Dotes. It'd be good.
So, what do you guys think? Since these are two Division 2 teams, you think they have a particular style that they play? So, like, Cream Team is obviously like a bunker style, and Helios Chroma seems to be like a DPS or goats type thing, and they just kind of play what they know. And unfortunately, the bunker just happens to be the more solid composition between the two. Is that what we're probably seeing here? Is at least my assumption.
I would think you said that the two teams combined recently. I would say that these guys probably want to play dive or goats and just haven't played enough reps together to be coordinated in the way they'd like to be traditionally. If you've got people from two different groups, maybe the chemistry just isn't there yet. And of course, that's what these kind of things are for, is just working on that and getting those reps in. Where you see Cream Team, I mean, everybody on their team has a role in bunker, and they own that meta, and they're playing it beautifully.
Yeah, there's certainly a timing and alt usage issue from Chroma that we're seeing. Fortunately, like when they are diving, they're diving at wrong times, and when they're engaging with alts, they're kind of staggering their alts in an odd manner, kind of a wasteful manner, and that really does come down to timing. Like especially when we're considering EMP with dive. So we are seeing David on Orisa here on attack. They're pretty confident on his Orisa, I guess.
And not only that, but they're running triple DPS on top of that. Solo taking DPS attack Orisa. So
with a Junkrat. Ugh.
It'll be interesting to see here how they push this. I'm gonna guess that they're gonna pull aggro and then look for Widow to make some picks. So they're gonna have a Widow to counter with on the other side and running a pretty traditional Rein Zarya comp to hopefully bully the front line. You know, this is where if these DPS don't get picks, they could really bully the Orisa more. So right now they're just kind of filling each other out here, and Rein uses the Flame Strike to kind of push Junkrat off that edge. Don't really see where the Widows are right now. Trying to find. Okay, so we got our first pick. Shy's got Rankin, and then Rein dies to Turtle. So we're both down one, but the main tank's down on Helios, and they're on defense. So they're going to start to push in, and Genji's making his room. Genji v Genji in the garage, and Zoro wins that fight. Wraithful loses to Zarya, and it looks like Cream's going to end up pushing this point and taking control of the situation.
You know, I'm happy to see our supports for Chroma playing well together, but unfortunately the tank line is not in the same communication loop because they are not disengaging when the healers are basically focusing each other, especially with Ana Zen. It's a very focused healed composition. There's no real aura or AoE aside from, I guess, a nade from Ana, so it's tough to not be coordinated with this composition. It's a little bit like what you see in competitive play a lot in the Diamond/Plat SR, so I would like to see our tanks play a little more defensive, and we see Zoro with a huge reflect.
Yeah, Zoro gets a reflect, yeah, and that's what I think what their plan is. They're pulling aggro on one side and then hoping Widow gets a couple picks to engage, and they're going to try to make a push on this. It's 5v5 right now, but Shytek's almost back, so I don't know if in the long run that Cream Team can win this fight, but they're committing to it. They're using ults here. Orisa puts hers out, and here comes the junk tire. And let's see if that gets anybody. It's going. Okay, Orisa's dead now. She got sniped by Shy. I mean, at this point, I'd probably like to see Cream Team back out, but they're still going to stay committed to this fight.
And Turtle's still doing work in the back line here, and he's been there for a while, but we see Nanoblade come out, and he's going to get one, maybe two.
So they used two ults in a fight that I feel like they were already winning, and they still haven't got the room cleared. Shy gets sniped by Jintara, and Genji's still back there. And now we have 3 ults coming up for Cream Team.
Nano Blade's incoming for our Cream Team here.
Yeah. And so Genji's, where's Genji? Yeah, I had a moment. Okay, so Widow's got walls, so she knows where everybody's at right now. So here we go, initiating with the Mora ult, and here comes the Nano Blade, and then is perfectly tranced, and Genji's just gonna go for the easy pick that's nowhere near the trance, which is probably the smart play. Meanwhile, Ryan shatters.
Big
It's
shatter.
3 people. That's a huge shatter, and that might stop the bleeding, but no, it's not going to. They're able to clear out the rest of the group there. And so what we see is kind of what we thought would happen. They used a lot of ults on a fight they won, and it worked out unfavorably for them. So now we're going to see some classic stall tactics, and let's see if they can hold off and keep this from getting full capped.
They
or
get
at
a
least
pretty big
consume it.
pick here. If they can
Yeah.
focus this grab, this is a one fight for them.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go. And now Genji just is the only thing left for cleanup. And Genji versus Genji in the room over here. Genji jumps off, takes the loss, and moves on.
Alright, so let's look at ults here. Everyone's pretty low on ults. We see Shrek with his Tyre, which on 2CP can be really
That's something to
effective.
initiate with, yeah. Genji's at 70%. Tracer almost has bomb. Looks like they're going to stick with this comp. So what we're going to have to see is probably they're not going to focus as much on reset. They're going to try to probably peel for all the flanking that's going on, or go after Widow whenever she sets up. Widow's looking for that quick snipe again, but Genji's on it on the other side.
Ball gets Shrek,
yeah,
that's big.
Yeah,
that's big.
that's a big pick, because that's an ult that can't come out.
Yeah.
So they're essentially just going to have to back out of this. See, I don't like Cream staying committed to these fights whenever they're already gotten picks early. They're finally getting out now. Genji's trying to get some ult charge, but Cream staying a tad too long in these fights when they've lost. Thorough got David B. Turtle got killed by Wavy, and so I mean this is time that's getting wasted right now. You know, we're looking at an extra 10-15 seconds on the clock coming off because they stay committed to fights that they're already losing.
And it's big because the ults are all coming online for Cream Team.
Wavy
and
almost got picked.
2CV comes down to
Wavy did get picked by the Widow, so that might be they might push in on that. They're going to be aggressive here. There's the Junkrat Tire to get another free pick. Now the Genji Blade. So an early pick pushes a lot of aggression here. They nano bladed the turtle, and so here comes the Mora ult to kind of stop it, and the Genji ult from Helios to try to see if they can't pull this off. Genji is still alive. He got Junkrat finally, and he was able to get out. And I don't know if they can hold on to this point at this point. If they can focus ball, they might be able to cap it, but Alicio ults and it's going to stagger it out longer. So they actually were not able to cap this point. So they're backing out now, wisely so. Genji needs to get out, and Widow needs to get out if she can. Looks like Widow jumped off the edge. See, this is what's happening. Widow jumped off the edge to give up that fight, but there they go back in. Why are they going back in? That's not there. So they're going to be giving up picks and wasting a lot of time for a fight that they've clearly already lost.
And they really did waste a lot of ults there, and it's kind of poor point awareness. If they had actually made that fight on point, I think they win that. Their Genji dives in too early. They lose some people in the beginning of that fight. Kind of overconfidence showing here.
Yeah, as I was going to say, do you feel like they're feeling their oats a little bit here, and they think they're just going to cakewalk this point?
Yeah, they're forgetting. They're playing Volskaya 2CP. This is a very favorable defensive map for your opponent here, and without using those ults in coordination and focusing point for just one tick too, they really just used a lot of ults.
Yeah, Helios has done a beautiful job at letting them hang themselves, to be perfectly honest. I mean, Cream Team has stayed in fights way too long, and Helios has been happy to oblige them by staying engaged and being aggressive with them. This is the aggression we needed to see out of them to begin with.
Finesse's ball has been a game changer. Since he switched onto ball, Cream has been just
Here comes some more pushes. Junkrat Tire, I do not see it. There it comes from the side. It looks like it's going to maybe get Tracer. Nope, it's going for... Okay,
Big
it gets
tire.
both supports. That's a huge tire. So that's a great tire. And now we're going to see Tracer and Genji try to stall this as long as they can against the Winston. The ball's back, so ball can really give some to that. And Zoro's currently ulting. He's going to get
forgetting about
them more.
point.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're all right.
So it looks like Helios is going to hold this.
Honestly, the biggest change there was the pressure on the supports there by Finesse. He really did a good job of staying alive on ball, putting pressure on their back line, and then it a little overconfidence I think from Cream as well, combined with poor all usage, just overconfident.
Yeah, I think we give credit to Chroma there for being much more aggressive in fights on point B. The switch to ball, like you said, made a big change. Even if it wasn't a shield tank, it was just something they could be aggressive with and engage. And I feel like that kind of changed the way they are approaching the engagements with a more aggressive hero. So and again, what I would agree with is overconfidence by Cream by staying in fights that they had clearly lost for too long, and not it doesn't seem like they're communicating effectively because the Widow jumped off the edge, and Cream just Mora and Dev VB just go right in. They're ready to fight. So clearly some kind of miscommunication was going on there.
I gotta say, Zoro gave a run to Turtle on that Genji as well. He had some pretty big blades.
The,
Really
the
good.
Genji play, yeah, was great.
This is what they've needed. I think this might be the turning point for Chroma. Hopefully they don't get totally bootlegged by this Bastion comp. Can be really tough if you start hitting the wall and not actually getting any alt progress against the bunker. It's very annoying.
Yeah, it looks like Cream's gonna go to their bread and butter. I think their intention is not giving up this first point in any way, shape, or form. Positioning on high ground, they want as much space between them as possible from Chroma. So we'll see how this works out. Sombra coming in to kind of scout things out, tell them what they're doing, tell them where they're at. Let's see where they move based on that communication. Now Sombra's hacking Mei. Don't feel like that does a lot for them. Just get Sombra out of the fight.
No,
Now, it looks like they're going to engage them on high ground. So this is something I really like here. Hogs notices it. They're going to fight there.
They don't have Mei here. This is a really good boot by their main tank here.
All right, so I like the way that Chroma's played this. They scouted it out, they looked for the space, and now they're getting picks. Turtle's down, and they have full control of this right now. Bastion's getting picked, and so he's gotten Wraithful, and now Zoro. So maybe ending the fight too early to try to cap point got them there. I feel like they had them where they wanted them because they've got them all over the map and everything, and they just need to get out at this point. There's no value in fighting that, holding your shield up. And Anna, hopefully she can get out here. But I really feel like if they kept the aggression on and got a couple more picks, they would have won that fight.
Well, we see Shy. Oh, unfortunately,
Shy gets killed by
picked
more.
again. Goodness. It's big though. He's at 79%. He's gonna have EMP. I like their movement towards the top left. I'm not a huge fan of their jump down, but like I think they could pull this off if they properly do alts here. Zoro didn't get a lot of his blade, which is a good win condition with the EMP here. Their combination of Ryan Zarya with the dive characters on DPS is a bit
See,
strange.
now they're going straight for point, and I don't agree with this because they have no way to stop this Bastion from assaulting them. So Bastion did get hacked by her, but they still have the dominance on the high ground. I mean, there's not a lot you can do here because they're still on high ground. Even though you hack the Bastion, they still have so much spam coming out. And
they're winning this fight though. If they can kill the BAP, they're gonna win this fight.
it's just Ryan Zarya on point. It doesn't look like it's gonna hold up.
Unfortunately, what happened there was they allowed for that. Well, the Baptiste threw a massive shield on their Hog on the low ground. He was purple and about 1 health and survived through that, which took the focus away from Chroma.
Turtle made a swap to ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're afraid, but there's a lot of ults online. Shy and Zoro. Oh, Shy gets a huge pick on Baptiste.
That's a great pick.
Chroma needs
But
to
they
take
still
their time.
have to contest on high ground here. Because Zoro does have his ult, or not Zoro, but Shy does have their ult, but she's still gonna get over there to the tank core to do something. Right now, they're still kind of held off here by the Orisa and the Bastion on high ground.
I'm very confused by the placement of what's happening here. Oh no.
And then Zombre gets picked by Shrek.
So the only win condition here is if Helios can actually coordinate their EMP blade, and they cannot lose people right now. If they get
Yeah.
Turtle, this is really big again. They've got another pick. They need to get the EMP on the Bastion. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Okay,
All right,
Blade,
that's
Blade,
huge.
Blade.
And now, okay, so they should win this fight now if they play this correctly. Now they got the nano on Genji, but it's a little late for the Blade. Not gonna get a lot of
Bastion's
value out of
still
that.
alive.
Bastion's ulting. They're not paying any attention to Bastion. He might even get a pick on this. Looks like Ryan's frozen, and nobody's watching the Bastion still. So the Bastion's getting free shots. Now Genji's doing a good job harassing him, but not enough. And this Bastion on the high ground is gonna decide the fight for him. Now they get hacked by Shy, so they might win this battle of attrition, but they have to kill this Bastion. He's getting pocketed so hard. There we go. So they're gonna win this fight finally in overtime. Now they could snowball this because everybody's out of position for Cream Team. They spent a lot of resources to try to stagger that, which they probably shouldn't have. So they've got to hack on him, and now Baptista's gonna die. Turtle's trying to get back to no, he's gonna engage them. He's really better off going back to point.
Rova is here focusing Genji, but that's their main healer. And whether or not he does something to Genji is kind of irrelevant here if they can push through.
Now they're attacking Hammond balls off to the side. I don't really know if there's a lot out of that, but they get them out. Oh, that's a huge
sleep.
there. That's a big pick, and now May put the wall up, but May has no wall anymore, and Ryan is free to push in. I don't know totally what they're waiting for. I guess the Bastion spam. I mean, I would like to see more aggressive movement to the left.
Ball gets hacked too here. If they can
Ball
focus
hack.
this
Yeah,
ball,
they're gonna pick the ball. Now they're gonna go on the point.
They need
So
to coordinate
they
this.
still have to put pressure on the high ground. There's the EMP. It's a huge EMP. Yeah, they could end up winning this fight right here. And
Genteran's still alive in the back, but he's hacked.
the Genji Blade's going to keep everybody pressured up top, and Moore is ulting the Genji Blade. Genji doesn't get any picks on that, but Shy got the
Genteran
Baptiste
is
again.
still alive too.
So this fight could go either way at this point. Lucio gets Zen, and that's a huge grab, but
Big
nobody's
sleep.
in it. It's just for zoning purposes. Or not Baptiste, but Hamster needs to be focused here because Hamster is the ultimate king of staggering, or not staggering, but delaying fights. So this is going to get strung out. They need to start calling targets because Ryan's swinging at Orisa. Zarya's kind of shooting at different things here, so they're not on the same page on points, and they're going to end up losing this fight in the long run because they're not
Now
looking at
May's
the same
back.
targets.
May's
May's
back.
May's hacked though.
But they get the kill. This is big. This is winnable still.
But they've got the point zone, and that's it.
Oh my goodness, they had it. Oh no.
So close. So what we're looking at for ults here, really just more on Cream Team side, and they have Nano Shatter and almost an EMP up on Helios side. So Helios is not out of this fight. I mean, they at least have one more fight left, and
If they don't rush this, that's the key to this. They
they have a ton of time. Sombra's getting in. Sombra's gonna find a good spot to hang out at. So I feel like they have a lot of potential here to get something.
I don't love Shy's position here. I don't know who he's gonna hack. Is he gonna hack Orisa?
She got
Okay.
Orisa, so they turned on her, and now she's got EMP, so she can EMP and they can nano shatter this. So let's see what they do here. Ryan's taking a lot of damage though. Ryan's dead with shatter.
Oh, no.
They did not commit to that fight. I guess they had to push out Sombra, and then Sombra's relocator was not in a position to where she could EMP. But they're gonna end up leaving 3 ults on the board at the end of this game.
Shy's gonna be able to touch here. I don't think they're gonna be able to regroup, but
Yeah,
Oh,
Shy
and
touches and
EMPs
she
alone.
EMPs.
I believe Shy's.
There could be.
Male.
Oh, that's a decent shatter there. But if they don't get any value out of it, they did get the Bastion. Ryan gets knocked down by Doomfist, but he's nanoed now, so they could end up turning this fight.
Oh my goodness, they have used ult properly here, and they may win this if they can focus a target. Just please focus a target, guys.
Hogs left on point. Baptiste is waiting to drop down.
They're split.
Yeah, Baptiste. Bastion's back, so Bastion can start to apply pressure if they're not careful. Ryan charges Bastion. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but he gets a shatter and
This
he's
is
not.
a
No,
massive
this
shatter
should be it. This should be it. And they do win the map. And what I would say is amazing.
My goodness, the shatters, 2 shatters back to back by Finesse made that turned around. That was wow.
Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, for sure.
I am
Now-
shocked by that.
That's a huge confidence booster for Chroma. If I'm Chroma, I'm probably pretty hype after that game, and it'll be interesting to see how Cream responds to this, because I feel like Cream played the first two maps, or the first two maps beautifully, and maybe got a little full of themselves at the end and came back and got them.
Yeah, that was huge. First of all, they get the huge shatter. Lucio ults to help keep everyone up. Moira kind of is doing some DPS stuff in the back line, fighting the Sombra, rather than healing the team, and they actually were able to focus down the Orisa, which has been a huge problem for them, and they turned that point around. That was huge shatters, dude.
Yeah,
Two
the
huge
shatters, the shatters were great.
He shattered
very well
Moira
done.
too in her ult, which has been a really big problem for them to, it's tough. You gotta focus on Moira in her ult. She's just like constantly recharging her health.
It
So.
solely feels like Helios is figuring it out. Cream showed some flaws in their game last round, and Helios is figuring out a way to expose. Misplays aside by Cream Team, it felt like Helios started to figure them out on attack, and it'll be interesting to see how that carries over. They played with appropriate aggression. They coordinated ults much better. All the things that you would need to do to defeat a bunker comp, they started to turn that corner and do on attack. So I'm really interested in seeing how this plays out in this round.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in Helios's compositions. They've certainly had the better comps. It really comes down to their focusing of targets and their coordination of ults. I think they could definitely come back and tie this match.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, I have to use the washroom, but I'll be right back.
I am also getting a beverage.
The washroom. That's silly. Who says that? Must be Canadian. Well, I guess I'll be left here by myself, so I'll fill the void with some talking. Looks like we're gonna be heading over to Blizzard World. We're just seeing what side the teams want to be on here, because that's kind of how we roll. The losing team gets to pick the map, and the winning team gets to pick which side. So I'm excited to see what we can pull out here on Blizzard World, because Cream Team specifically chose it. So I'm assuming that their bunker comp is going to be A+ here on the defense side of things. So we'll see if that is the case. Hopefully, at least Chroma can come up with a comp to really negate their bunker, maybe some kind of dive or something like that. But hey, I'm not the big brain. I'm just production here. So, anyways, a little bit about community here. If we have any new joining us, we're Revolution Overwatch. We came from a previous community that basically we just copy pasted what we had into this community. We're very community driven, and we host tournaments that are like 1v1s or mystery heroes, or even official season / tournaments like this that you're watching now, where teams can play each other and have a real stake in the game and actually play people of their caliber, as opposed to like open division where you may play teams where you get stomped on. But we're constantly changing here. We do whatever the community wants to see, whatever they feel is best for them, and as we just want this place to be as best as possible for everybody. And I'm excited to have everybody here, and I'm just rambling while Clark mouth breathes into his microphone.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm glad you told me. It was my low-key way of telling you I was back.
Well, I'm excited to see again.
Do you see this? Do you see this comp for attack?
Yeah, I'm interested by it.
This has to be a meme. There's no way it's not a meme. I feel like they do this to troll us.
3, 2, 1.
Looks like Helios Chroma is going with a comp that they have normally felt comfortable with this entire time. They're starting to get into a rhythm on that comp, so I don't actually hate the fact that they're doing that. Shy gets a hack off on Hog early. Looks like Jint's coming in kind of by himself. He's getting pocketed by Mercy now. While the rest of the team kind of pulls in underneath through the room. Looks like Helios.
They're running a Brigitte Mercy. This is the oddest healing combo I've seen in a little while.
Not to mention that like the Brigitte has to engage to get value, and I mean it runs kind of counterintuitive to Orisa a little bit, unless they plan on like halt hooking bashing or something like that. But they are making good space with this comp. So Ryan's already having to like manage his shield here a little bit. He's taking a lot of damage on it. He is engaging Orisa, which is kind of what Ryan wants to do, but Hog's there also kind of to protect him. And Ryan gets picked, getting kind of in between Cream Team a little bit there. Zoro does pick off David B, so there's no main tanks in this fight unless Mercy gets off a res. The Cream Team Mercy does ult. Soldier's ulting for Shrek. They're dumping a lot of ults in this fight to look like they're gonna take it.
I watched Riken. He waited on Sombra to translocate. He wasn't even with his team that whole fight. He was sitting top right on the high ground for the Sombra to translocate back into the spot. Very interesting. It's unfortunate. Chroma was very split there. They did not engage together.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They are kind of split up here a little bit. And again, we have a situation where we have to find a way to counter the Pharah. I
If
feel
they
like.
can get the Mercy here, she's rezzing. Oh, unfortunately they don't.
Okay, so they're gonna shatter here. They're gonna win this fight. It's pretty early in the leg, so it's good to start a position and kind of take that ground for your team. So it looks like we're just extracting ult charge at this point. Everybody's kind of poking, maybe seeing if we can't get a pick on somebody who's out of position. But for the most part, it looks like they're just kind of taking what Helios gives them as far as just the card. We're waiting for the mid tank to go back. She's back. She's got to move forward without a shield for a moment. Now she's ulted, so we're probably going to start to see some ults come out here. The Lucio ult to counter the bongos. Brig is using her rally, and she's going straight for Reinhardt and Lucio. Meanwhile, Shy had gotten Soldier, but they traded with the Rockets, and now it's going to be Pharah kind of uncontested to clean up the rest of Helios.
So we saw that they had EMP Blade,
And
or
Raken
sorry,
just staggered Zoro, so.
they had Nano Blade there. They kind of just defensive ult and didn't utilize that. I like that Shy has gone on to hit scan to try to counter this Pharah, but
Ooh, that's a big stagger because Ryan's gonna get the other spawn.
Oh,
I don't understand that. I don't understand that Diva ult because they're essentially at the point and they weren't gonna win that fight, and it's mere seconds of delay. Unless
Chroma's
she plans with swamping.
They need to regroup here, and they really can take this. But Wavy and Zoro have been holding their ults this whole time, and it's been unopportune for them. Wavy's gonna get
and
picked here, too.
Wavy got picked being way out of position. Yeah. I mean, at this point, just Cream is asserting their dominance. It's sort of like they just kind of woke up after that last round and, have gone back to their bread and butter and playing with more discipline. Shy did get Hanzo, yeah. So they're 5v5ing right now, but they're down
Again,
support.
Finesse
David might
is
go
low.
down, but nope.
We're not
looks-
seeing much combination between the front line right now, and now they're gonna finally use this. I hope they don't use much more. There's a big purple. That's a very good purple, but he's
Yeah,
not
Shy gets
focusing on
Shrek,
purple.
and so it
Zoro's-
looks like Davey might go down, but no, he does. Mercy's okay, so he does finally go down. Widow's trying to get a pick on Mercy here at the end, but they're gonna end up winning this fight and stabilizing positioning. Hog does get Wavy out of position, so that's a huge pick, and they're probably gonna turn this and be pretty aggressive early. But Shrek does get sniped by Pharah, but it's res by Mercy, so that's all washed off the board. Hanzo is in danger, but he gets killed some more. Hog on the right trying to put the pressure on the team. He gets a huge hook on Diva. Oh my god. So Diva gets knocked out of play, and then they're going to continue to put pressure on this front line. The front line's just getting bullied very hard. Ryan's going to get his shield broke. Hog gets slept to save the hook.
Finesse
they're doing
gets
what they
kept up.
can.
Finesse, if
yeah.
they can, and Finesse
That's
another
that's
big
a decent
shatter.
shatter.
A huge
It doesn't-
shatter again.
But they didn't get anything out of it. Everybody's still
They
up
did.
on their team.
They
They
got
finally got
two.
Shrek.
Turtle's gonna ult. He's getting a lot.
Hog's gonna
no.
make the space, and they're gonna the sleep. Now it looks like that it's gonna be Cream Team.
Yeah, we're seeing very poor coordination for the front line and Chroma, they're just so split, and positioning is just there's a lot of confusion happening. They're not playing together at all.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on that Ryan Shield. I mean, the Ryan Shield, he's constantly having to manage. There's been a lot of times where Ryan's had to duck and hide behind a corner, and essentially that's a free hook for Roadhog. You know, the front line's just getting bullied pretty hard, and part of that might be just simply Orisa and Hog are so strong right now that it's
Well, it comes
not
down
super.
it comes
Go ahead.
down to shield break, right? Like
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
there's no shield break for Chroma, and they're playing a shield with a diva, and they're not utilizing it because they're not playing together. So they're just gonna lose every fight on the front line, and on defense. Like you need to keep your front line up. When you start to split, you're not playing together. You're not supporting your front line. I'd rather them just played goats there or something. They started off on goats. It seemed like they were a goats team. They're playing against 3 DPS with an odd attack composition from Cream. They're really utilizing Davib's Orisa. It's very exploitable if they just play together. Unfortunately, they're not.
So looks like Cream Team's gonna sit up on the top left, right next to Statue. And again, name of the game is gonna be spam. You know, and we see kind of the same situation. Unless this team really coordinates dives, it's going to be hard for them to get the space they need to make an impact. So let's see how they play this. Winston's kind of checking it out. The halt hook doesn't get anybody initially. Winston's looking to jump. Winston gets up there. D.Va's up there to help. D.Va needs to DM the monkey. Monkey jumps down. Looks like D.Va's still up top. Winston has jumped back to target Brig, it looks like. Winston does die. D.Va's come back to assist. Now Brig is antied, so Brig can get killed here. Unfortunately, they were not able to finish the Brig. Soldier does get D.Va out of mech, so it looks like it's going to be a hold here for Cream.
Yeah, again, we're just seeing the lack of focus. There's the initial dive's good. The Orisa gets slapped on high ground, but there's no focus to kill her after she slept. When they disengage away from it, and
yeah, it looked like Winston went after somebody else, and D.Va just kind of hung out up top. So I think I agree with you. The tank communication seems to be the biggest concern right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that target slept and she's alone, and I think we're just extending ourselves too thin, and now there's an ult advantage.
Now Pharah does get hacked, and this is a big pick. That's a great play. Mercy's gonna ult. She might be trying to sneak around the res. Winston's doing a good job of keeping that zoned out though, and she knows it, so she's gonna kind of back off of that. Winston uses the bubble to keep it. Now Mercy's going for they let Mercy res that, so that's actually pretty big because now the fight resets, and now they're actually turning the corner because Shy just got picked by Soldier, and now Winston's kind of exposed in the middle of no man's land, and he gets rocket barraged from Soldier, and Wavy goes down, Zombie goes down. So I just don't know how they let a Mercy res in the middle of that pack. I mean, Winston was very conscious about the Mercy being there. It doesn't seem like anybody focused her at that point.
Well, this fight's gonna come down to EMP Blade. They have a lot of ults online. Jentaren's probably gonna get a pretty decent barrage because they're gonna extend. So Wavy and Sombre are gonna have to play together really well after the EMP Blade. I hope they can coordinate this.
It looks like Jintara is just waiting to. Okay, now she's going up to Sombra.
Shy's exposed herself again, or himself again, and this is not great. They need so they're
Orisa ult,
engaging.
and now Monkey's engaging tank. See, Monkey's not getting a ton of value out of just fighting Orisa. Monkey needs to go after somebody he can do something with. Now he might get some big picture knocking off the edge, but he doesn't get them off the edge. But he's got him out of the fight for temporarily. Looks like
Finesse gets two.
He does knock him. Big. He does get 2 picks. Yeah, so he does get 2 picks out of that rage. But he gets ganked by Roadhog and Brigitte. And Cream Team doesn't use either DPS ult to win that fight.
I'd like to see them switch off here.
60 seconds remaining.
I mean,
I don't know
I've
if
not heard
Winston
a word
was
gank in a long time.
Yeah. I wonder if Winston was targeting the Orisa ult, but like just spending your time attacking Orisa as Winston is not idea.
Well, we're seeing that Turtle is just staying alive in the
Oh,
pack.
that's a big pick on Zombra. Hog was able to hook Zombra and get a big pick. So they're going to fight this last fight, essentially 5v6. Soldier's ulting, so they're going to zone out. Now, he did get shy. And again, they're essentially fighting a huge uphill battle. I don't think they're going to be able to re-engage with the full team in 20 seconds, especially with how much space they've taken now. Cream Team's effectively being very aggressive. Winston gets hooked, and he's out of the fight. So this is going to be a pretty easy win for Cream Team here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't see any target focus from the team here, and
Now, as long as Cream Team doesn't fall asleep, they should win this fight.
we've seen it happen before.
We have seen it. So
No big bomb.
no bomb there. The Pharah ult comes in. They're picking off both supports. So Mercy's rezzing the Pharah. So they have a full team and they're fighting just as Hammond on point and whoever trickles in here. Bongo comes in to give the extra damage. Again, I think this is inevitable. They're gonna win this fight.
Well, that was well played by Cream. Unfortunately, Chroma didn't use their momentum from their win on Volskaya, but they still got a map win. I think it's pretty clear from the game what they didn't do properly. Mr. Turtle was just sitting in their fucking middle of their team the whole game. Sorry about the swear word.
Sorry.
Canadian at its finest.
Well, that was certainly a match, that's for sure.
So should we double down? Or are we gonna go watch the Power Wranglers match against the other team? Forget what they're.
If it's still going on, we can certainly see if we can get in there.
You down, Clark?
I'm good. That's fine with me. Got nothing else going on tonight.
Let's do it.
You
guys
want to see if you can pop into their voice chat and get someone to give us an invite?
Okay.
One of you two. Or I can do it, I suppose.
Oops, I invited someone to a group. Classic.
It looks like they're in the middle of a game, so I don't want to just dive in and be like, let me talk over your team.
Let me cast you.
Yeah.
You are being casted. What's the thing from the what was the not the latest Star Wars movie, maybe the second to latest, where what was the android's name? Shit. It was like you're now being helped or something like that. Ah, crap, what was that? Oh, we're being invited. This is exciting.
All
Just
right,
invite me whenever you're. Yeah.
We're gonna join it in progress.
Nice.
Alright, looks like I have who's what team is, oh man, there's two people with JJ's in their name. That's pretty funny. What we got here? We got a 0-1 score, but I don't know which team is which right now because I don't know either team very well.
Joking is Power Wranglers, and the other team. Who? Let me see if I know anyone. I actually don't. Looks like Power Wranglers are about to push, and enemy team has only 1 point.
Told you to invite me.
Alrighty.
It looks like they might actually have a full spectator slot. Soldier, did you get in here?
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in too.
Oh, great.
So I'm just gonna
Alright.
switch to the feed, but the names are currently wrong until I get the chance to update them. So the game is
so-
the match is underway here, and I'll let the casters do their casting thing while I fix
So
this up.
we're jumping in this mid game. I don't know what anybody likes to play or anything here. So looks like we're running a pretty standard Ryan Zarya with a brig with Shifty. Shifty gets picked off by the Bastion, and we're seeing a bunker comp on the side of the Power Wranglers, applying pressure, effectively on Ryan. And right now, they're just trying to do what they can to get the cart turned around the corner. That's a lot of damage that Reiner's taking. He's not going to stand up to it, and Brig tries to get out effectively. So looks like Banshee's going to be looking for a full reset here. No, wait, I'm sorry, Power Wranglers is going to be looking for a full reset.
Yeah, it's Banshee
Yeah.
Green.
Banshee's burning bunker right now.
Yeah,
Banshee bunker.
Yeah, Banshee Green is the team. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. So it looks like they got it 1 plus. They got
Oh, that's a
it.
bad Orisa shield, but there's no way it's not going to really get taken advantage of, just because they're not ready for it. But that would have been huge if that had happened right when they were ready to engage. I do like the decision to meet them on high ground and fight first, try to take the cart later. They get the Baptiste shield, but Reinhardt dies in the process, and Hanjo only pops off and just pretty much wipes the team out.
So what are we looking for alt? So it looks like we have Hanjo only plus Shiz and Bastion alt. And Power Wranglers have not really been able to build ults except for possibly Shifty. So a big EMP here might enable them to push through with Spooky's Shatter coming online. Hopefully they're able to communicate that to each other. A big Shifty ult will coordinate with Spooky really well. So, I mean, they're on a vulnerable spot.
Orisa again has no shit. Okay, now it's come back up. Looks like they're trying to put some aggro, and they get the Sombra again. Shifty's, I think, needs to just go for the EMP instead of like being aggressive and trying to pick a support right now, because now they just need to just wait completely again. So, just this is where one pick just makes a huge difference in your ability to push. Looks like they feel like the Sombra's getting comfortably back into position. They're starting to make a push. I don't understand the translocate there. I guess Sombra want to take a different path, maybe EMP from underneath. Bastion's currently ulting. Now they're putting a lot of ultness. Now, Sombra ulted, but their team's not going to be able to capitalize off of it, because not only did the Orisa, not the Orisa, but the Sombra, I can't talk right now. The Brig gets like, yeah, they're fighting this. It's sort of one of those things where it's sort of snowballs, where the first person presses Q, everybody has. That's a huge shatter, but again, are they going to do it? Yeah, they do get several picks off of that. Diva Bomb doesn't get anybody. Now they just need to push the card.
So sloppy combination of ults ends up into a pretty decent win here for Power Wranglers.
The ults got good as it went on, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, because essentially what happened was they committed that fight, and you know, one of the biggest things is where people have uncertainty about what they're going to do. You know, the Sombra ulted early, and unfortunately they couldn't do anything with that. But they stayed engaged in that fight fully. Even when the Brig died, they didn't back out, and they were able to work with the rest of their ults to win that fight. So kudos to Power Wranglers for staying committed and taking advantage of what you could exploit there.
So Fancy Green transitions to the Pharah Mercy, which is probably pretty good against this composition, but they only have to push it around the corner, so a good coordination of ults here. Like, they do have grab online.
King also went to Reinhardt, so, but the thing is, Reinhardt Diva versus Zarya Rein is not an ideal fight, because Reinhardt Diva can really bully you and take advantage of the situation. Now, Banshee Green tried to res their Reinhardt, and Mercy died in the process. So right now they're just kind of holding on for dear life. Pharah gets picked by Shifty. Now they have Ana, and Ana's not going to be hold up. So it looks like this is going to be a win for the Power Wranglers here.
Big pick by Hanjo only. He's going to lose. So they're going to be able to re-engage.
They're going to contest with like less than 5 meters. Yeah.
They commit all here. They commit a lot of ults here.
That's it. There's no way. That was a good combination there, and it ensures them the fight pretty much. Pharah does have a barrage unless she somehow gets the whole team, but that's not going to happen. She gets popped, and that's going to be the match.
And Team 1 wins.
Team 1, the victorious team.
The best team.
Play of the game.
Spooky with the big shatter, I bet, on that first point. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, and
This is
he
huge.
wisely
He actually-
tries to go after the
Yeah,
Baptiste.
very smart. Yeah, that was pretty critical there, and that's what we were hoping to see, was the Shifty EMP with the Spooky shatter. Unfortunately, it was very staggered.
What seemed to have happened there, even though the EMP didn't provide a lot of value in the moment, I think it kind of caused Banshee to, for lack of better words, just kind of lose their track of progress there, because they started to get a little discombobulated for going on the longer words there, and then Power Rangers was able to capitalize pretty effectively.
Yeah, a big thing there is the positioning. You see the diva and a couple other characters on the high ground, separated from the bunker on the far right, and it just enables them to take advantage of that, even though they probably shouldn't have. But
Yeah, I think honestly that if Banshee had just stood still and waited for the EMP to wear off and then dropped the shield back down, that fight goes way differently. But they had kind of started to panic a little bit, and I think the Hanzo ult had where you couldn't see kind of the progress the team was making towards you. So some of them decided to kind of retreat, and some of them stayed forward a little bit. And what ended up happening is Ryan was able to work around the Orisa shield, and they're all essentially in a long funnel, and he's able to shatter and get the entire team that's right there all to himself.
the grab here at the end was also pretty big, or on the end push was pretty big. They actually got the Pharah in it somehow. I think she dropped into it. They kill the Reinhardt, and then they get that Pharah. Oh, big pick by joking. Oh, joking, not joking.
We have some. I don't know if these are both J. Jonak memes, but I mean, obviously, J. Jonoctopus is clearly a J. Jonak meme. But J.
Joking pop.
Yeah, J. Joking was also playing Zen, so I don't know if maybe that's also a play on the name.
And I mean, they commit ults on the end there, and it's really beneficial. It was a 5v stagger, so it was pretty smart by them. And poor Pharah, she kills herself. Life is hard, you know.
Mm-hmm. Soldier left to go take care of a restroom break, so we don't get any brought to you by messages. I'm not even reading the chat, so I don't know what anybody's saying. Not even in the Twitch stream. I'm such a bad caster. I know we're running like a 3-minute delay anyway, so by the time they see something and make a comment, it may be less harder to have a back and forth or whatever.
So for those tuning in, we've swapped matches. We've watched Chroma lose to Cream 3-1, and now we are on to Banshee Green in the Division 3 playing the Power Wranglers. They are affiliated with the Team Young Bombers, one of the oldest teams in the league, run by Young Pickles, the most annoying guy.
I've heard that name before. Where is that guy from? I heard he was kind of cute.
They are coached by Milksteak and Connor, who are both involved in the committee planning for the future plans of this tournament. Both great guys, both my friends. Just like Soldier, who announced our friendship on stream earlier. And it looks like this is a 2-1 map lead for Power Wranglers, so we've come into.
So we're on the third game.
Yeah.
Fourth game. Sorry.
Sorry, fourth
Math
game.
is hard.
And it looks like we're doing Hanamura.
So we're doing 2 CP. We haven't got to see these guys play. I guess I can look at some profiles here.
Well, Banshee's a great organization. They have 3 teams. They have a good Discord. And Power Wranglers they practice a lot. They're led by Joking. He's a good captain. They practice and scrim a lot. So these are 2 teams looking to improve in the Division 3, right? So this is what our league's about. You know, lower SR teams trying to
Absolutely
have fun, keep building. Competitive, but developing.
Trying to see if there's any sort of synergy with people's characters and who they're playing currently.
And we're off.
And we're off before I could finish looking at all the profiles, but that's fine. We don't need profiles.
No, I mean, you got probably a good solid 40 seconds till anything needs to be done. It's a long time to look at profiles.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're waiting here for things to get ready, just a little background on us. We, well, at least a few of us came from a previous community to the previous community here. It was a Discord or a community that was based on improvement of oneself and most importantly the team. And we kind of got away from what was a bad situation at the time to go to what was our previous community to do the same thing. Was really have a team-oriented community where teams can play each other and scrim each other. And we didn't do tournaments for for a very long time. We basically just scrimmed and scrimmed and scrimmed and scrimmed, and we did like fun little things like pugs and stuff like that as well. But um, that's what we're really all about here, is the improvement of oneself and one's team. And then we did get away from the previous community again and to what is now currently Revolution, and we're getting back into what we were at one point in time. But now the game has started, so I'm gonna shut up and let the casters cast because the game's more fun than I am.
Looks like they're playing two Ryan Zarya comps. We do have a Pharah playing against no hit scan, so what Pharah can do with this pharmacy in the early part of this game can really establish whether or not they're going to get a kind of a free point here, for lack of better words. Pharah is currently targeting the Reinhardt.
Shiz has snuck into the back line here.
Yeah,
which
Shiz is in the
very
back line on Sombra. I did see that, but and she is
Joking's
starting
alone.
to cap.
Here's the fight.
Okay, yep. So we see that. So Joking
Joking
does get the
wins.
Sombra. So that's a huge pick, but Reinhardt does go down. So it looks like that they're going to hold this. Jay Joking playing very smart here and staying conservative and in the back line and able to 1v1 Sombra. Hanjo only does get the Lucio though.
Losing Bagel
so-
here is pretty big for their team. They need to back off. They need to play slow.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, so we've asked for a pause.
So I'll go back on my spiel.
I'm gonna
Unless you
look at.
guys-
Let's look at Twitch chat though, quick, because we're seeing some comments about humble brags. Of course, we're gonna humble brag.
I am a bronze player. I will proudly own that.
Val 13. And there's some talk about Mortor, Banshee Green, and Tokai. Thanks for shouting out your organization. And
Is Connor coaching one of these teams?
Connor is coaching Power Wranglers, correct?
Cool. And Milkstick's helping as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's a double team.
So we're discussing some host issues here. And somebody from Banshee Green is either not in the game or left the lobby entirely. It was I don't see them on the spectators part of things. Let me see if it was King of Hans. So King of Hans is not in the lobby anymore. So
Well,
figuring that
as
out.
we wait for this to go on, I'll continue my little plug. Because I kind of got cut off since the game started. How rude of the game to start. So in the previous community we were in, we started to get a little away from what we initially wanted to do, which was be a very tight little community that everybody knows everybody in. A place where people can really interact with people and communicate with each other and have fun. So we some other things happened, but coming back over to here, back to Revolution, we've went back to what I'll consider our grassroots and try to become more community oriented, get more membership to what do you want to call it, work with us, and we work with them instead of the admins basically just deciding every little thing. We've given the members, and at least a few key members, the ability to have input on this community and really make it their own. So it's exciting. I want to see where we go. We may not be as big as we used to be and we may never be, but it's definitely what we envisioned this community being. If we ever get away from it again, I would be very upset because this is really what we're here for. We're not a pro league. We're an amateur league, and we want to keep it that way. Now maybe we can spin up a pro league and it'd be separate. That'd be cool. But for now, we're here for the amateurs and the people just looking to. And we're back into the game, and it's going to be really immediate. So goodbye.
All right, so we're catching mid-action here. Farah has lost her mercy.
Unfortunately, King got screwed. King Hans, he's our Reinhardt for red team.
He lost his ult charge.
Yeah, he did
left the match.
get disconnected. Yeah, so it's unfortunate.
One of the things you can't help. So Reinhardt has the Discord on apparently. It looks like they were going to nano barrage, but I think Farah had some issues with engaging there, and Brig sort of punished her for getting out of position, and May with a beautiful wall. So they're still trying to figure out how to get into this fight here. Zen's ulting, but Zarya to grab, so
it's a huge
grab versus grab. The barrage gets Lucio and Shifty, but it looks like that Power Wrangler is going to hold. Joking's doing an amazing job with Zenyatta. He's staying in the right spot. They're going through and cleaning up. See, I like this kind of play. I like being aggressive and finishing fights and wiping out kills. I think that's the appropriate thing. It gives your team more time to come back because you do have 2 players coming back. You don't want a quick engagement here because right now you still have May and what appears to be Lucio not in the fight. So now both teams are fully back. We've got the pharmacy going still. Looks like Shiz has gone in. Let's see what Shiz does. Shiz is getting close to an ultimate.
Power Wranglers have done a good job of maintaining some ults and
Shiz is going to go for Zenyatta. Yeah, Shiz is 100% going. He attacked. Shiz has to win this fight. It's the only reason why Shiz is here. And Lucio's come to help appropriately, and Shiz has to get out. A shatter did happen, and it looks like Red Team was able to capitalize on the healers being distracted with a shatter and clean up the front line. So they are going to win this fight.
Unfortunately, we see a massive overextension from Power Wranglers here. They used their mail a little too early. They exposed their Reinhardt to a lot of damage, and they also use defensive ults here. So Bagel uses and Joking both use their defensive ults. So if they lose this fight, which they seem to somehow be pulling it back.
I can't really explain what happened here because Zarya ulted and they didn't frag anybody in that ult. Pakaru is barraging again. This
420
is
is killing people. This is still. I think they're gonna lose
so
this
they
fight.
finally lost this, but that was a lot of ultimates to go into. They do have both Shatter and Mercy ult coming up, and then Zarya has Grav, but they don't really have much else on the side of Power Wranglers.
They somehow get Banshee Green to use all of their ults despite only having 3 people on point. It seemed like a very easy win for Banshee Green, but Power Wrangler's use of ults there, I guess, staggers point A. So hopefully Banshee can build ults here and really coordinate their next push.
Yeah, looks like Banshee's going into the top right with Pharmacy kind of pulling aggro on the other side. So Ryan has Shatter. They have to figure out how they're going to engage this fight. Are they just going to go to high ground and let them come to them and fight?
Joking gets another huge pick on Shiz. This is huge.
Okay, so the Shatter only gets the Brig, and Brig's not. Brig does get killed by Zarya, and Joking gets killed by the Ryan Shatter initially too. So they could end up snowballing this and winning this fight. They have map control, but they need to call targets. They're not focusing the same thing right now. Everybody gets in that.
Their own grab.
Yeah. So they need to focus these 2 down. So okay, so now we need to see them call targets. We need to make sure they're attacking the same things. That's not happening right now. They're sort of attacking different things, and that's letting Ball just kind of consume time on that map. Sounds like there's only one there. They're able to focus them a little better. May ults and gets them off point. Ball dies. May dies. Now Lucio's back. He got hacked, so he should die appropriately. He's waiting to the last second.
So yeah, there's been a
So here
big
comes the Zenyatta.
miscommunication of
Yeah.
ults and a big purple on their brig. So
Yeah, the brig dies,
dies,
so that's free. And so now Jay Joking. Yep, the Pharaoh is going to zone everybody out. They're still staggering in. They need to. Okay, that's a huge shadow by Reinhardt. And he's going to clean up the 2 people on point. But Lucio is back. I mean, they're doing a brilliant job at staggering, wasting a lot of time here. I would have liked Soldier to jump on the point a tad sooner, but I don't know if it mattered.
Yeah, we see really improper usage of ults there. Unfortunately, what happened was the Sombra got behind Power Wranglers and affected their focus. She really split them, and then they didn't go to point together. Uh, the usage of ults was just not really on point with what was needed for Power Wranglers. So
Yeah.
they successfully staggered to a minute and a half, but I think that a lot of their decision making was not correct there. They really ulted a lot of times when they're down players in order to stagger, sorry, in order to stall. Just did not work out for them.
Yeah. So I was initially kind of critical of Shiz not getting that pick on Zenyatta, but the second best thing happened, and you have to give credit where credit's due, because Shiz did pull the aggro of the Lucio in, which only left Brig up there to heal for the rest of the team, and that just wasn't enough healing to get the job done. So even though Shiz didn't get the pick, it was still brilliant distraction and enough to let Banshee, capitalize on the lower resources of the team.
Yeah, I'd say the major turning point there was the fact that we saw Zenyatta use Trance and Lucio use Beat to defend point A when there was only 3 people left on point.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those decisions really affected their loss of point B, in my opinion.
So we have a standard bunker comp here for Banshee. Looks like we've got a Sombra coming in to the point. Now, I don't know if she's just scouting it out right now, letting them know where they're positioned at and what the comp is. So let's see if they stay on Sombra. So we've got Farah for also still on Banshee's side.
Big hack on the Bastion.
So yeah, that's a big hack. That's good. So they've peeled back the point, and Sombra gets out. Bastion's no longer hacked. Jay Joking is sort of trying to see if he can't pull a pick off here.
They've lost Spooky though.
Yeah. And then Jay Joking does get finished off by the Orisa. Now they're running triple DPS. Actually, they're running quad DPS with just a Hammond. So they've really got to coordinate targets here and focus those. So the biggest concern right now is it doesn't look like that Banshee's really giving them a lot of angles to work with. They've got 2 snipers, and so by effectively hiding in this corner, it's giving them a lot of
putting
issues.
themselves into a corner, and if they can properly support and break the shield here, this is a winnable fight for them. Oh, unfortunately, they cannot coordinate this fight, and they have lost the Hanjo.
I actually do like Banshee's positioning, considering the fact they're fighting 2 snipers. I mean, you've got to make the snipers open their angles to engage you, and you can put so much spam down those lines in the interim that they're not able to do as much as they'd like. I feel like Widow wants to kind of snipe from the balcony, and Hanzo wants to snipe probably from a flank, but with them being in that corner like that, they're essentially closing all the angles to those snipers.
If Power Wranglers can keep everyone alive here, they have a lot of ults online that they can coordinate for an easy win. Shifty is, unfortunately gonna die here.
Now that's actually a huge ult, because that's gonna zone out the main tank from Bastion, but look, yeah, and there goes Orisa. Mercy's trying to get the res off, and she does. Here comes the Hanzo ult. See if that gets anybody. It does not look like it's gonna pick anybody off.
Bastion's
looks like,
free here.
Yeah,
Bastion's wide open.
And Ferric is not going to get that kill. Pukaru saves the Bastion.
It's going to come down to the combination of Shifty ZMP with 6 Chasers.
X went 420 went Tracer probably to bomb the Bastion. I assume.
Big pick, and Mercy's free here. Mercy's free here, but she's gonna get the res. This is bad staggering by Power Wranglers. They really need to think about their ults here, or else they're just gonna keep staggering until they are losing the ult advantage. The Sombra is. Oh, and they've
So
lost.
the EMP's
420.
online. Yeah, the EMP's online, so they need to regroup, and they
They
have
need to be patient here.
yeah. Yeah, because Farah's still trying to poke. Farah gets nothing out of this. I mean, it's very unlikely she gets a pick here, and she can't get any more ult charge because she already has her ult. So the only thing she's doing is exposing herself to a possible pick. She has nobody with her, and she's gonna go backline. And if nobody pays attention, she's gonna get an ult.
Okay, here's the. But they got the.
They were. Oh man.
Spooky.
Wow.
Spooky boops a bunch of them off. We see the finish up here, but now they have no ult. So,
Yeah.
well, they have, I guess, Ham and ult.
But the other thing is that they have enough time to build, you know, their ults back and fight. But but Banshee can still play their ults very smartly here. You know, they don't have to use them all in one fight. They can stagger their ults and win multiple fights here. So it just comes down to how Banshee's going to use their ult economy here.
So that was a big EMP there that it really won the fight for them, which was
Yeah.
hoped
Tanks
for.
drop
But
first, and
Shifty
make sure
gets
there's no
picked
cap.
again. Shifty is getting picked a little too much here. Without any stun, it's a little bit surprising. to
Also,
see that
Shifty
happen.
needs to wait for the team because everybody's outside on the right now, and so you want to make sure that you can add value to a fight whenever you do engage.
So we see an alt engage here.
That Hanzo ult's too high, so it's not going to do anything, but they're going to try and go in on it. They did push him off high ground, and nobody's okay. So the Pharah does get killed by Soldier.
420's gotten two now.
Yeah. And now Hanjo's ulting, and so I don't see a win happening here for Power Anglers in this fight. So I'd like to not see them commit any more resources into it. And Bison still has his bongos. Hog has his ult. Pukuru has his ult. So this is good ult management at least. But they've got to get these people out of here. If they're not going to... Okay, so there goes Pukuru killing 6 Chaser. I would have liked to have seen Power Anglers disengage much quicker. But also, Banshee eSports wasn't really punishing them for staying in so long until a little bit later on. They did finally get those picks. But really, Power Anglers should have got out much sooner than they did. Because now they're waiting... Again, that extra 10 seconds, 15 seconds for everybody to get back and engage.
So again, we're gonna see if Power
Yeah,
Rangers
Spooky's
can...
in by himself. I don't understand the move there because you're not, unless they just all dive on the Hammond, there's really no purpose to expose yourself.
If they can pull themselves together here, though, they have the ults to win this fight.
Yeah.
They do have EMP. They have Barrage. They actually
Oh,
have.
she
6...
died mid
Oh,
EMP. The
no.
EMP is gone, and that's 2 ults gone, just out of the fight before they could even pop them. And I don't really love the bongos. The bongos weren't necessary because they had already won that fight. But you know, that was 2 brilliant catches by Banshee.
Yeah, that was very big. And we're gonna see Hanjo coming on with ult. Pokeru could have a massive barrage.
Yeah, it's not over yet because we still have 4 more ults coming from Power Anglers.
There's a little bit of impatience happening here, I think, and
I'd agree. So we do get the Bastion hack, and Sombra gets out. But again, there's no value in that because the team isn't there. The team's just not ready to engage.
this
That
could
hack,
be a big dragon.
no, that's a huge. Their whole team got caught off guard.
They only need.
They're gonna cap this.
Yeah.
Now this time, see, the question is are they gonna be able to get on point to get Tuscany? Bastion does not survive, and so no, they're not. There's gonna be more attacks for both teams.
Wow. I mean, that's a tough one to analyze. A very strange.
It
Okay.
seemed like, to me, and I don't know if you'd agree with me or not, but it seemed like Banshee kind of like fell asleep at the end of both rounds of both points, because Farah just flew in with no support around to the back end on point A, and then they kind of just let everybody just Q rush them at the end there.
Yeah,
It's like the
instead of
Sombra
using their ults,
distracted them. Yeah, the Sombra distracted enough for them just to get Q stomped. You know, they let Hammond come in and drop mines on them. They should just drop the point immediately when they heard the Hanzo ult. Just had that last fight on the point.
Yeah, that could be team positioning problem there. Just by playing too deep in the hole on the top left there, they're not utilizing their point position. And
So-
I mean, Baptiste drops his protective shield there, not incorrectly, and then it gets destroyed or outlasted, and that the Hanzo ult just came in and destroyed a bunch
Yeah.
of them.
Well, the mines also got a couple people too. So I think Orisa, I think that was really well planned, at least, because the Hammond dropped the ult and then Hans ulted, and everybody's instinct was to press S, and you know they backed in the mines. So they're not contesting Spooky here; they're letting Spooky stay on point, and I think the point here is to pull aggro and let their DPS come in and start to pick people who are not paying attention.
They
And
get
that's,
2.
Yeah, that's what
They get
happened.
4.
That was really well played. They didn't turn fast enough on Spooky, and they kind of didn't do it all at the same time. So what ends up happening is your DPS come in after the fact and just bully everybody who's out of position. That was really well. That was a really well played point by Power Wranglers. So they have one fight left.
They have ults coming online too, which is really big. This could be pushed for 2. If
Hammond's
they
gonna try and knock somebody out. No, Hammond gets froze. So this is the right play. They wisely turn on Hammond. Now they're going to the point to engage the flankers who have come in.
Joking
You know,
gets king,
yeah.
and they get the res off on
Yeah.
Spooky.
And they Joking
gets
also
that
jizz too. So this is a perfectly winnable fight for Power Wranglers if they're not careful. So
Spooky needs support here. Oh,
Joking still gets Hanjo, and then Tracer gets the Mercy. They're in a position to win this fight. It's just the tanks and the Baptiste. And
they have
right
ults
now,
too.
Yeah, there's all.
Big.
I would imagine that would probably be it, unless somebody they can stagger this fight out. Let's see how well Power Wranglers calls targets, because we've got Lucio and Tracer. So
May used her
May
Cryo
gets-
too early too.
Yeah.
If they can kill this Tracer and Lucio this game. I don't see a lot of
Tracer
target
uses ult,
focus.
doesn't get anything out of there. Diva is flying. So
This Lucio stayed alive this whole fight.
yeah,
Oh,
Lucio
and
finally
he goes
dies.
down.
Billy Bison's on point. May is still in the fight. May corners herself pretty well. So we're just waiting for this May to come unfroze and see how fast. So she doesn't get picked. She gets hacked. Now she's finally out. Now it's Hammond, and Tracer's waiting for her turn. Tracer gets on point. So they're effectively really doing a good job managing the
Big
staggers
hack
here.
on Lucio. Big hack on Lucio.
But they're not getting any
Tracer's not
picks.
focusing the point though.
They need to start getting picked, because I mean at some point, as good as the stagger is, there's no value in extending it. They have to kill people. So it looks like, you know, they're getting
Big
enough,
EMP.
but
Big
yeah.
EMP.
So that's gonna be it. They weren't able to get any picks out of that fight.
Diva's
Diva might
gonna
touch it. Yeah, so we do get a touch. So this is still extended.
Can they focus? Can they focus and
Okay,
finish?
the
This is very
Spooky kills
winnable.
Hammond with mines. Diva's dead now, so it's just Mora on point right now. They gotta focus Mora. Okay, now Tracer is gonna be there. Yeah, Tracer's dead. And that should be full cap.
Wow.
Complete.
So the everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and that's what happened. They, you know, Power Wranglers came in and hit them really hard on attack, and I don't think Banshee really ever recovered from that first fight. I think they were kind of reeling, and it showed.
Yeah, that can be the difficulty on point A with Bunker. If you're not ready for that quick engage, like Spooky rolled in on ball and he just turned them around, split them apart. It changed that defense there. Like the holding on A here is really crucial.
Like obviously you don't always want everybody to turn on one guy.
Definitely not. No.
But what happened there was, like, nobody paid attention to him, and then everybody paid attention to him. And then the May wall was very well timed to separate people and then get picks. So
Yeah, and from there it was just one big stagger. So
yeah,
So this is Power Wranglers' game to draw. They elect to go Snoats again with Anna, and we see Banshee Green playing.
Hanjo's gonna be. Never
Yeah,
mind.
so-
Hanjo's on attack. I thought I got a little maxed up there, so never mind on that. So we've got a Kree and a Pharah for DPS.
Playing together. It's not terrible so far. It's gonna come down to
Just kind of
proper
feeling
ult
each other. I think
usage.
they're waiting for Zarya cooldowns, to be honest. Now Pharah popped in the window and they've used the cooldown. They
Big
need to start to
Steve-
engage. Banshee needs to engage whenever those cooldowns get used because the bubble got used on Ryan for the Pharah, but they didn't go in and swing on that. I think May's waiting to freeze them off. If they know that, then that's kind of what they're looking for. It's the only reason I could see them waiting is they're waiting for that May wall freeze.
Spooky's
it's
back got turned there.
But I mean, the Pharah's got to get the May out of that spot. Pharah doesn't. Pharah's not even looking at May. It seems like the tanks are playing it like there's a May in the corner, but then the Pharah's not looking for it. Like Pharah's not seen it at all, and Pharah needs to target that May to let their team push in. See, so there's the wall. The team's lined off, and now they're gonna bully them. I mean, yeah, it just
The Wranglers played that well despite the errors on the enemy team, and they're gonna clean this up. I think Pharah's just not utilizing her abilities right now, and there's a huge freeze on both characters there.
I just seemed, I don't know, like the tentativeness of that Reinhardt going in just was playing like he was expecting a May. And if there's like no communication to relay that scout, if Reinhardt was playing like that and he thought there was a May, he needs to be asking his Pharah to look for that and bully that May. See, she looked for it there, but obviously the Pharah's not there, or the May's not there anymore. So now they're going to go right in. And we're going to see what happens here. Now, Brian gets anti-tired. There's no way he's going to survive that. And they're still
get the
staggered
Zarya
in
here.
there again. McCree high noons, but doesn't get any value out of that.
He gets
Nano,
one.
Zarya slept. She got waked up by May. So it looks like that they might be able to get this point. Ryan with a huge shatter, but so they might get an 11th hour win here on this point. Just Brig and Ryan left.
Weird attention split. We're hoping Bagel doesn't try to do anything heroic here. They have lost this point.
Unless that they don't focus. I mean, this is one of those moments where you have to decide as a team what you're doing. And like this is, it looks like they're gonna try and go in on it.
They're committing. If they kill the Zarya here, this is not good for Crimson.
Now Pukuru did kill the May,
If they can get the oh my goodness, they might
but
kill
they need
the
to start calling targets. Like King shouldn't be spinning in a circle on the point. He needs to be actively attacking somebody. Like his job is not to stall. His job is to kill something.
Wow, this was a massive turnaround that I would never have predicted. Good job by Power Wranglers, I guess.
Yeah.
Holy moly. You do not expect to see that when you're down that many characters. There were 2 people on point.
Yeah, just no shot calling on the targets there. It seemed like.
There's the big boob.
Yeah.
Very nice by Spooky. He played this well.
That was the first fight whenever they first got that point.
Yeah, we saw XX420 get a lot of kills, and Spooky was alive a lot. Paco Rooney, not playing well on Pharah, but maybe not prioritizing targets the way he needed to. Tough to say, but good games.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you've just enjoyed a bunch of admins trying to cast, and we all suck at casting, but
The first time I've ever casted anything in my life.
Did I miss a map? We got Li Jiang, Route 66, and Hanamura, right?
I
Don't
think
we
that's
have
a
one more?
3-1. But I can't swear to it. I think we came in on 2-1 or 1-1, and then they won that game, and they won the next game.
Let's scroll back and check. 'Cause it did tell me who won what.
I believe that's it. Oh no,
Oh,
it's 3-0. It's 3-0.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I have to use the bathroom.
I have to get more water.
Well, I guess I'm all by my lonesome again. They keep leaving me here. This is very upsetting. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. So I'm running out of things to plug here. So I'm just going to sing you guys a lovely song. It's one of my favorites and my daughter's favorites. It's called Baby Shark. I'm just kidding. Um, so yeah, I guess we had some questions on, or at least a question about um, old teams. Power Wranglers are not old. They came in on season 3 of the previous community. They got I think a week, or at least one match under their belt, I believe, under that name. Um, they do have some old heads as their coaches, which is Milksteak and Connor. Milksteak has been around for uh, I think he was here before I was. For uh, the 2 communities ago. Before we came here, and he was on, I think, Noir, I believe the team was. And yeah, he's been around for about a year and 2 months now, maybe 3 months, I think. And so has Pickles. Pickles came from the same group of people as well, I believe.
Oh, Kings Row is my favorite map. Put me in, coach.
I think King Rose is everybody's favorite map.
Well, as a Reinhardt main, there's no map better than Kings Row. Lots of narrow corridors to W and M1 into.
That is absolutely true. So yeah, so obviously we're going to Kings Row here. As always, the losing team gets to pick the map, so Banshee must have some kind of love for this map, which, I mean, honestly, who doesn't?
Yeah, I agree. You know, be interesting to see. I really enjoyed watching the Hammond 4 DPS comp. I thought that was I thought they played that very well. On the second go around, it seemed that they kind of got their bearings upon them, whereas on the first attack, it seemed like they kind of had to warm up into the rhythm of that kind of play style. I don't know if they played a whole lot. I don't know if that was something where they've kind of been practicing and they decided to fully pull it out. But on the second, on the re-attack for Power Anglers, I mean, that was really well orchestrated attacks and stuff. Essentially from like the last 30 seconds of their second point on round 1 to their attack through the way through, they just had great great coordination and were able to pull off that win.
Shout out to Cheese Strings for making lactose-free cheese strings. Big move. But my goodness, the defense there on point A by Power Wranglers to pull that back from losing, I think 4 people and coming back to win that was huge. Obviously the May ult was big, but there was committal from their Lucio to use ult for just 2 people. That was a bit shocking. Shout out to Timmy's for making my bladder small.
I'm assuming
Shout
that's
out to
Tim
what?
Hortons.
I don't know. Val13 just said pickles and the small bladder. Too much Timmy's.
Nice.
Milksteak is old as fuck. He's a young 26.
If you think Milksteak's old, I should not say my age on the air.
I believe Clark is the oldest.
I think I am. I'm only like a couple years older than you, but I'm still the oldest. I'm the grandpa.
Lethal would wish to make some song requests. What would you like to request?
I was actually I was gonna offer to sing them Baby Shark on stream.
So Power Wrangler's going with Soats and waiting to see what Chiz picks here. Maybe they're going to go with the Goats comp as well. Nope. They're going to run Pharah. Puka Rooney has played a decent Pharah for most of the matches we've watched here. So that's not a bad pick.
I was gonna say we were gonna see
So,
Potes
what
with
is Potes? Is this Potes? Is that what this is called? Farragoats? Potes? So I like the positioning of Power Anglers right now. I think that's a good utilization of the map space. Um, just building ult charge. Looks like
Shifty's
what we're doing
exposed
right
here
now.
though. He's
Oh yeah,
used
yeah.
cryo.
They need to make sure that they call that Shifty's positioning out. That's Farah's job, I feel like, in this comp, is to make sure she scouts the Mei and bullies Mei out of positions that can exploit your players. Farah's doing a good job at doing that now because she's nowhere near the front line, and they aren't taking the space on the map like they need to be. Mei's walled off, but I don't think it's going to have a lot of value. I think nobody's going to get punished for that. Zarya's out of position on the left. See if she rotates around. She does. Ryans are going to duke it out. So Mei walls again, not a lot of value in that wall. So Mei's walls are not getting value. Chiz and Bilo Bison start to get picks. Farah ults doesn't. No, she finally does get Jay joking. Does die to Zarya, but I don't think it matters. I think Banshee's going to win this fight. I really feel like if you're going to play Soats, the big position issue is Mei walls, and the Mei walls weren't in a way to exploit any sort of easy picks for power anglers. I do like the aggression of Shatter. I appreciate the effort. It looked like it was a little quick, but the aggression here is good. They're not ready for it. Billy Bison does get picked, so they need to be careful not to get this turned to where they have to start reeling, and the cart's only being moved by one person. So they didn't get as much space as I think they'd like. I think Power Anglers did a good job holding off that aggressive push by Banshee. Ryan's EMP'd, or not EMP'd, but anti'd currently, so he's going to get some heals up. We're going to start watching shield management here.
Soldier, I'm not sure if you're listening.
Yeah, I got it. My bad.
Yeah. We may have missed that fight.
Yeah,
did
maybe.
we? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a huge.
Soldier's tired.
The rocket barrage out of it doesn't. I mean, it gives them space, so that's not terrible. Lucio's behind. If they just turn around, they can kill that Lucio. But Ryan's going to get anti'd and dropped. So right now we've got Zarya also walled off. It looks like that Power Anglers is going to stabilize here.
They're doing a very good job of sustaining against all this damage that's coming from Pakaruni.
It seems almost like the strategy is the kite, the Pukaru out of the fight, and then wall off the tanks, and then beat the tanks up, and then just push that space back. I would have liked a better barrage from Pukaruni, but what can you do?
Sorry for the stream technical difficulties here, guys. We're missing out on
Ryan
some
whiffing
fights.
another shatter. That's something that has to get better. Obviously, those shatters are huge, especially on King's Row, and he's missed 2 now, and that's allowed essentially Power Rangers to turn this fight around and push them all the way back to spawn. So what ults do we have coming up here? Pickles?
We have 6 Chasers, Spooky, and Joking. So we're looking at Brig, Rhine, and Nano. Unfortunately, we're still without the stream.
Oh, really? So we're talking into nothing still, or
Yeah, we're still
should we
talking
keep commentating?
We're still on King's Row.
Yeah. Oh. Ryan shatters in just the Zenyatta, so they have what to work on. Pukaru dies mid-ult. Looks like Lucio's gonna get finished. So Power Anglers is taking advantage of really what appears to be a little bit of sloppy play by Banshee here. I'll just keep talking and pretending like there's a stream. I don't know if there actually is or not.
There is.
Okay.
Yeah, we switched over about when they got through the doorway with the point,
Okay.
or with the prelude.
So looks like Power Anglers regrouping, getting a strategy together, and looks like that they sniffed it out. So they're going to meet them here and fight them here. I do like the aggression here, and Zarya maybe should have communicated that a little bit sooner but it doesn't matter. They got it all anyways. But Zarya kind of ulted, and the whole team was sort of peeling away. But that was a good team kill from that Zarya ult. So let's see what the Banshee eSports team comes up with here. Banshee Green.
Shifty's gonna have the shatter combo for Sombra, and
This is mind games for the Rhines, though. They both know Shatter's up. Spooky's gonna die. This is a free Shatter if they want to use it. Yeah, that's huge. They should win this fight here and push the cart pretty aggressively now. So Power Anglers, everybody. Okay, so Sombra's here and gets out. So Shifty is hiding. I haven't seen much Shifty in this fight. Maybe I'm just not paying attention. But she's sort of hanging out. She's waiting, I think, the EMP the last fight here at the turn. Maybe EMP Shatter. That would probably be a pretty significant play. And Ryan's in a position where he's going to get EMP'd pretty easily if Sombra comes around and does it. Sombra needs to get there, though. There she is. She does. Oh, okay, there it is. There it is. They did pull it off.
Power Rangers managed to not use too many ults here, which is really big. Obviously, we see Banshee Green still maintaining 3 to 4 ults, but pretty happy to see Power Rangers not overcommit. They have all their defensive ults as well, and the counter grab.
And they're also forcing ults out here early in the fight. Like, Banshee has to use all these fights now, and they've got to get to the point and push it.
Big sleep.
So it looks like they're gonna get there and get the cart moved.
Mercy's low. She's also hacked. Let's see if Shifty can turn around. Oh, she doesn't, or he doesn't. Still contesting.
This is good contesting. I mean, yeah. And the Reinhardt's gonna get there and be able to contest again. So this is good play by Power Wranglers. They made Banshee use all their ults early to get up here. That Shatter does get the Reinhardt. Let's see if he does kill the Reinhardt. Now they just have to call targets and commit to the fight. It looks like Lucio's going to give it up. And they're going to let him have the point, maybe? No? Okay, there it is. So they're going to win the fight finally.
That was an unfortunate snagger for the Wranglers because they kind of had something going there, but they didn't at the same time.
Well, they're also giving away ult charge for free once it got to the point where it's overtime, and clearly not just Zen's going to win the point, but Fair boops Jay joking off the map. So Banshee Esports is really snowballing this fight now. The Zarya grab comes in, but it's only Rhine. And they do get the Reinhardt. The supports are back on moving the cart, so not good communication by Banshee on what they were doing there because the tanks were really far up with no supports to heal them. Now Ryan kind of gets a free Shatter.
Shaz lives so.
That should have been a kill. I think Reinhardt just saw the opportunity when nobody else in position to take advantage of it. Now Anna's nanoing. They've already not sure about the ultimate selection here because that seemed like a fight that Power Wranglers was clearly in control of.
Yeah, so we're getting complaints of lag in game, and we're also seeing one of the more staggered fights I've seen in a while from both. It's a very tough one to cast to both teams, but here's an EMP.
There's EMP, yeah.
Shifty doesn't.
And that's gonna end. Yeah.
Oh, but a huge Shatter. Okay, so they're gonna clean this up. Not in love with that focus, but it's gonna be enough for them to win it here. At least to hold this on to.
What I've liked to have seen was maybe Zen playing further back, and what he could have done is just stayed out of the EMP range and then came in with the trance to mitigate some of the damage that was occurring there.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big error there, even despite them getting shattered for the win, was Shifty's EMPing the Zen but not cleaning up that kill. It's really important. You know, that's the person you want to focus in your EMP. That it's a simple 1 or 2 shots to the body, even Zen, and he's letting that Zen live. He's lucky that his team cleaned up the rest of them. But
yeah, I thought Banshee lost their momentum when the tanks went so far ahead of the cart and the support stayed committed to the cart. I felt like there should have been better communication because the tanks were just essentially taking free damage with no way to offset it.
I mean, this information come from the captain of Tribe, so I mean, take this with a grain of salt, everybody.
The former captain of Tribe. I believe I played a Reinhardt main named Soldier on this map, and won, came out victorious.
There have been many
Do you
victorious.
remember that
achievements.
Pickles? I was filling in for Team Noir for a scrim.
Ooh, that would be my old team.
Yeah, that would
About
be
a
your old
year
team.
and a couple months ago.
Yeah, we played together in that scrim because you were doing shot calling.
I'd love to say I remember, but I do not.
That's all right. I have clips. So I don't know what Power Wranglers has. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what this is, but they have no tanks. Now they're swapping heroes around, so they're going for maybe a couple quick picks and then switching and pushing in.
420 gets a pick.
But yeah, 420 does get the Mercy, which is a huge pick, and now they're going to be pretty aggressive here, I'd imagine. So let's see what they do. Sombra hacks the Rhine, so really great coordination by Power Wranglers coming out here right now.
They can focus this Rhine. This is
Yeah,
a
that
one-
Rhine needs to die, obviously, yeah, before Mercy gets back. Mercy
they-
is back in the fight, but if she somehow was able to pull off this res, I think it's a little too late though.
420 has been clutch. If he can stay up here, which he doesn't, so
I would have liked to have seen.
Oh, big purple though.
Yeah, that's a big purple. I would maybe a little bit more aggression out of Power Wranglers. I felt like they had control of that fight and like played a little too tight there, and now they're going to end up losing a fight I think they had a clear advantage on.
So luckily for Power Wranglers, they're coming onto some ults, but Pukaruni, who has been pretty much hard carrying, but hard playing Pharah, going to come onto Barrage, and there's not a lot of counter to it. There's no Diva, there's no hit scan.
I mean, just positioning is the only thing that's gonna, as long as she stays away from the Sombra.
Yeah, I mean, if Shifty gets EMP here, it's Spooky in the front line. Oh, they get a big hack on the Ryan again.
So they nano the. I think that's going to be a miscue because they nanoed Shifty, and I don't think that was intentional. Ryan does go down.
Another dragon.
now-
Very quick dragon.
So this should be enough to win this fight, but they need to start focusing some targets. The Brig has to go down. There we go.
This is advantageous for Power Wranglers because they still are not really using ults. Obviously, Joking had a little bit of a misclick there, but they are going to have 5 ults here for this engage. And
But you also have a lot of ults coming online for eSports Banshee Green because
That's
Trance
true.
is coming up. And where is the Zenyatta position currently? Zenyatta's in a good spot as long as he doesn't get bullied by Sombra. So, and Sombra's looking for that EMP. She should be scouting out the Zenyatta right now. I think that's what she's doing. She does find him, and Zen's slowly creeping into a position where it might be advantageous to EMP. She's waiting for that hack to come in. Okay, she's gonna EMP away from the fight, and now Zen should come in with the trance, and he
Big
does.
purple, though.
But
Big
he
purple.
dies. Yeah, they die before the trance comes off.
they've chain hacked the... Yeah, so this is a one fight. Paku gets chain hacked. Chiz is going to get cleaned up. They've managed to hold on to their grab, but they're at a major ult disadvantage, so I would expect them to lose this in the choke. The next engage, so it's going to really come down to patience from the Power Wranglers to not really commit any ults and just drive push this. Shifty is low here. They should probably go to point to help move this. They have electric pack there.
Just Anna's moving it right now. So they're trying to create as much space as they can. And that might be the result of not having the ults to... Alright, so Zarya ults. They counter ult each other. There's a lot of Qs going on here. And it looks like Banshee's going to win. I don't know if the shatter was totally necessary from Banshee. I feel like the grab Pharaoh was enough, and the Mercy made sure they stayed alive. So I don't hate it. Zenyatta's coming online, and Reinhardt's coming online here soon too. So and they don't really have anything left on Banshee to use for this next fight. So they have to play it really careful.
Yeah,
Looks like they're. Go
It's
ahead.
gonna come down to, I believe, the shatter from Spooky. He's been getting some major shatters here. Farah's poking. They've got a big
Zarya
hack
uses
on
bubbles.
the-
That's a good shatter, but Reinhardt dies for the shatter.
Shatter though.
Let's see if they're capable. Joking does get
gonna
Reinhardt.
commit ults.
6 Chaser
They
gets
get-
Bison. 6 Chaser gets Hanjo. So it looks like they're gonna win this fight and push it up.
Can 420 get their Farah here? This would be big if they do. Looks like there's not a whole lot of targets.
Yeah, I don't. with the Pharah, if she's not getting any picks, I really would like to see her. I guess there's not really anything that can be a super big damage to her, but she did just get hacked.
Reinhardt's
her-
free on point. If they can kill this Reinhardt, this is a win for Power Rangers, but they lose.
Yeah, I feel like Banshee's using ults in fights they've won. Like that Feral would have been much better served on the next fight.
Yeah, it's been really beneficial for Power Wranglers, just especially from the composition picked by Banshee Group. It's not really optimal. And now, if they can coordinate just one good push here with their EMP, they have Grab coming online, they have Nano for Spooky, who will get Shatter quickly, who's been... But Shifty gets picked again. And then they're still going to engage here. If they can't focus... Yeah, they need to stop staggering here, or else they're not going to have enough time.
Banshee needs to make sure they don't use any ults in this fight. They need to play discipline. Now Ryan dies because of the purple. Yeah. Now Zarya ults just to stop the bleeding there, and now they're going to start dumping ults in this fight to see who can turn it.
Banshee is not winning this fight necessarily.
Now, yeah, there's a lot of ults coming out for this fight. And what? Still, you have to. We still have Mercy's res or Mercy's ult and Shatter for Banshee, and we still have EMP and Shatter for and almost beat drop too. So a lot of ults are coming online for Wranglers. But the issue is they're running out of space. They have to get there in 12 seconds, and I don't know if they're gonna let them.
I mean, if Shifty can get a big EMP here, which it looks like he's in position to do, and a big
Oh, that's
Shatter
a huge
again.
Shatter. They gotta get the point though. There's nobody on point. Okay, they get there finally.
They're pushing
They
together.
gotta
They
make
can,
yeah.
they can win this. This is one for them. Can't see 9 then. So it looks like it's gonna come down to one fight on the end. There's barely any ults online for Power Wranglers. There's a few decent ults coming up for Banshee. Oh, and a big Shatter, but I don't know if this is worth it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't really love the Shatter there because they haven't capped the point yet, and they're gonna have more time.
Yeah, so
And
this
then
is kind of a
King of
waste.
Hans dies first in that fight, and so they're without their Reinhardt. So this is free card space.
Big hack on the Pharah by Shifty, and he's getting ult charge. He's gonna be close. No, maybe not.
Now
They're
they're
committing
nanoing Ryan.
ults.
Yeah,
Oh,
Six
big.
Chaser gets picked or by Reinhardt.
Is a big purple.
Fair with the flank ult. It looks like Power Wrangler's is gonna hold on to this fight.
Again,
Power
though,
Wrangler's Banshee. Sorry.
there's a whole minute here. It's gonna come down to whether or not the grab by
Grav and
Billy-
Shatter are both coming online.
So Spooky, he's been their killer. He's been really getting huge shatters, and if Shifty doesn't get picked here, this is a huge place to win this fight. If he can focus the shiz on this too, it's kind of free. Oh my!
Oh, that's a huge Shatter by Spooky, and that's a great EMP.
Purple.
All right, purple.
And another hack on
Yeah,
the Pharah.
Mercy's behind. She's gonna get out. Looks like for back to the team.
I don't see how Banshee can pull this around.
I don't think they're going to either. I agree. Unless, yeah, Farrah's not gonna get her ult. Mercy's not gonna be able to defend this card. Ball comes in though, and Reinhardt gets EMP, so he can't use a Shatter. So he's got to wait out the timer, and he dies. He will not.
This is GG for Power Wranglers. They played this pretty decently.
Yep.
Saw Shifty, he chain hacked. That poor Pharaoh was hacked for about a minute and a half.
Play of the game.
I'm gonna give MVP to Spooky here. He hit every single shatter, man. He literally crushed them.
Good value. Nothing more satisfying than flame striking a Pharah out of the sky.
21 Earth Shatters Sun and 18 kills on them.
It felt like Shifty was ignored a lot when it came time to expect EMPs. And I think that cost Banshee in the end. Because a lot of times where Banshee even had a lead in ults, it was just an EMP and then a Shatter came down and Suddenly the fight's over for the team that has more advantages.
So it looks like Power Wranglers 4-0 Banshee Green here tonight. They keep proving themselves. They're the lowest ranked SR team in the league, but they're putting up a good fight.
Yeah, it was definitely an excellent game. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, they did get 4-0'd, but it wasn't a total stomp, which is always a good thing.
It was a close fight. All right, well, I'm signing off, boys.
Same here.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
I am signing off too because it is late and I am tired as F. Hence why the one scene didn't get switched for like all 3 minutes.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Nice.
Alright, ladies, everybody have a good night. We'll see you next cast, which will be ? Good night, everybody.
Announcement. All right, we'll see you.